I'm giving it time. I'm giving it faith. I'm giving it more than I ever did take. I'm willing to run low. I'm willing to wait. No matter the price, I'm willing to pay. No turning around. We'll never give up. Un día siempre me suetuhi menghana iparaitasi. Un día siempre me suetuhi menghana iparaitasi.
Go sinja uli die sombran zelten meg et zu i te saluda antes Dio hum niga Radzauds and malak estrezas durante todo em memu a nogi distancia como kupugi palu zangiman malak guafi Ikonum nasugi airi prebatu la noci nai banderata gaigi pues atan fanni bandera kau Esta pagua pumalalapa Gilo tanu man libri Sentanu iti man ko badi
Fanogi chamoru Politanota Kantai matuno Nyagi toru iluga Paraiona Parai gloria Abiba islas en Paraiona, Parai gloria, abiba islas en Toru y tempo y paz, paraíta, zangin y la bendición. Contra biligu nafan sofuam Zeus proteis langmon Contra biligu nafan
just couldn't. Baby, I know that you've been wondering. Oh, so here goes nothing. In case you didn't know, baby, I'm crazy about you. I would be lying if I said that I could live my life without you. Even though I don't tell you all the time, you had my heart a long, long time ago. In case you didn't know, ooh, in case you didn't know, hey. The way you look tonight, that second glass of wine got me thinking. There's something about the kiss. Boy, you didn't mean it. Got me thinking. I'm thinking. One of the things that I've been feeling. Oh, it's time you hear it. In case you didn't know, baby, I'm crazy about you. I would be lying if I said that I could live my life without you. You know, I don't tell you all the time. You had my heart a long, long time ago. In case you didn't know, you got all of me, and I belong to you. You're my everything. In case you didn't know, baby, I'm crazy about you. I would be lying if I said that I could live my life without you. 'Cause even though I don't tell you all the time, you had my heart a long, long time ago. In case you didn't know, ooh, in case you didn't know, in case you didn't know, ooh, in case you didn't know.
Good morning, Gua. Morning, Sabrina.
Good morning.
Morning, at Ken Sanity. Good morning. Come on, man.
Good morning.
Hey, right on, guys. Jason Solis is on leave, so Ken Sanity has joined the show on the link. Joe Sir, of course, with the ones and twos. Good morning. It's 6:28. It's Friday. Friday, whoa, business. Oh, boy, this week. I don't know. We were talking before we came on, and I was like, man, this week went by slow, and you guys were like, this week went by fast.
Yeah, I felt like it flew by.
I don't know, because I thought it was Wednesday like twice. So I came in Wednesday thinking it was Thursday, and I was so excited because I was like, man, I got everyone for Friday. Then I was like, oh, I don't have anyone for Thursday. But it worked out yesterday. Hey, good morning, guys. Good morning on you. How's it? Good, 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 good. Right on. You okay? This is like a turn it up morning. Hey, thank you to our sponsors. We love you. East West Rental, Combo Enterprises, IT&E, and Jack in the Box, where you get the cheddar biscuit. Man, that sounds pretty good. You guys got Jack's number? Let me WhatsApp Jack. Cheddar breakfast biscuits. It's a cheddar biscuit. They put the cheddar inside it. All right? So it's infused in there, embedded.
I really have to try this.
Yeah, man. It was great. It was great. Oh, yeah. Guys, if you weren't around, Bree was in quarantine when we had the Jack breakfast. But you know what, Bree? Take our word for it. It was...
Yeah, I'm going to go try it for myself.
You get cheddar biscuit. It comes with either bacon or sausage. There's a fried egg involved with a cheese slice. Okay? I don't really do ketchup, but I do ketchup in the morning because you could burn it off. Right. Hey, how's you guys' weight loss challenge going?
I'm kind of like just not feeling it.
Yeah.
Like might just back out and just.
You're
do
over it? Just do
Yeah.
you. Just do you, Bree.
Yeah,
Come on.
just
Don't
do
let these
me.
guys tell you how to live. Weight
Ain't nobody
loss
telling me
stuff.
how to live, dude.
Guys, just put up a weight loss hoop. You guys just jump right through it.
No, it's, it's motivation, but
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
same
yeah.
time, I don't need the motivation.
No, you're pretty motivated already.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Ken?
I mean, you guys put the empanaditas in the office every day, and like,
I'm the great
oh,
disruptor.
here's some
So,
Danishes. Like, hey, try this out. Hey,
I'm
try
that
out this
coworker,
bee
like-
honey with Denancy
Yeah.
drizzle.
I'm that coworker where if like I know you guys are doing a weight loss challenge, I'm going to bring around chocolate and bring around
Mm-hmm.
To train them, to train them. To
yeah,
give them the
just
mental.
throw the
you know,
temptation.
yeah, there you
Yeah.
go. Way to go.
Yep. I'm just here to help.
Thanks for the
Actually, what I do is I
support,
go to
Chris.
the other people in the weight loss challenge and I'm like, hey, you want me to get Sabrina and Ken to eat empanadito this morning? And they're like, yeah, give me $5. I got it. Then I call someone else like, hey, can you bring an empanada?
That's why you always take me to the bro lunches.
Yeah, that's the bro lunch, man.
We
Hey,
got one of those today.
we do Feed Me Fridays is today. Ruby Tuesday, Kenny.
Yeah. I can't, man. The weight loss challenge is hard when we're having those bro lunches at Ruby Tuesdays. Feed Me Fridays, like, wow.
Yeah, Ruby
They didn't
Tuesday. It's
tell
not
me
really
about
like on a
doing the Feed
diet.
Me Fridays.
They're not in a diet thing, you know what I mean? You don't go to
Yeah,
Ruby
have these
Tuesday when.
lemonades, mango lemonade. Did you try the mango lemonade? Try the strawberry lemonade too.
Ooh, boy.
Have the butter cake.
Yeah, Ruby Tuesday doesn't really scream weight loss challenge, guys. So when
good,
I took Kenny, we went in the other day and we recorded Feed Me Friday, so that's gonna air today. Every Friday, guys, it's like a fluffy Friday. We have a sports link.
Again, it is Fluffy Friday.
One Micronesia podcast. We debut it here on the show because we know people. We got the connects. And Feed Me Fridays. So Dave Delgado, Sports Link, hardest working man in sports, hands down. He's a one-man show. I just want to give him a trophy, man, because Dave is just
Yeah.
the guy is a grinder, dude. He goes out there, he shows up to these games, he films it, he puts it together, he writes it, he does the whole sports thing.
Works 7 days a week.
Yeah,
He
and
is
he's
a
one
hustler.
freaking guy. He's just one guy, and you guys know Dave.
Mhm.
Dave is a freaking good guy, man. He's a hard worker, hard-working guy.
I mean, I'm a hard worker.
Yeah.
He's like a hard worker.
Yep, he sure is. And he also slangs the smoke meat. So if you know him, hit him up and get that meat, yo.
Mm-hmm.
Be doing those. How much is it?
$10 a bag.
Drop a tenner on it. Get a dime bag.
Of smoked meat.
Yeah, that's so
That's
cool.
not good for the weight loss challenge either, but you know
Is
what?
it? I don't know. I
really
feel like
good.
with the
It tastes
Tanana, if
No
you
keto?
yeah, it's
good. I mean,
keto.
it is keto.
Not keto, it's keto. Yeah, I feel like smoked meat is good for a weight loss challenge if you just like drain the grease, right? I don't know.
Tell yourself that, yeah, man.
Ask him for the diet one. Dave, if you're listening, can you bring some diet smoked meat today?
Just half a bag.
Yeah. No, but it's cool, and go by Dave's Meat. If you guys know him, hit him up on Instagram. But it's cool because this is something like he picked up during the pandemic. There's a lot of people who, when they were staying home, they were like, what can I do? Right? Whether it was making the Nancy or making smoked meat or doing some kind of like arts and craft thing or painting, right?
What new skill did you pick up during the pandemic, Chris? Anyway.
Yeah, can't talk about it. I don't know.
You were working through
I was working.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you were busy,
that's
you
the
were
skill
busy.
I was
Nothing
doing.
changed for you.
The skill
You were
I picked
working
up
all
was
day
not
hard.
getting COVID.
Grinding.
That was my skill. It was my superpower. Boy, wouldn't that suck to get COVID now after all this? Man. It's 6:34, guys. Friday, May 21st. Hey, good morning to our Facebook Live viewers. How are you guys? Right on. Who we got here? Rosemary LaGuardia. Good morning, team. Right on. Nicholas Titano. Good morning, Sabrina, Jason, Chris, Mama Bear, Debbie Davis. Good morning, TGI Friday. Angel P. Quintanilla Castro. Good morning, Familia and KUAM News. Mananasi Duas. All have a good day and be safe. Ken Paulino. Elizabeth Agagi from Eva Beach, Hawaii. And we're going to be going to Hawaii today. Hey, Bree, who's coming on the show today?
We've got Senator Sabina Perez. She's going to kick off our show. Senators had some big budget oversight hearings yesterday with public health and the Guam Memorial Hospital. And they got a big day today because they're going into session.
Oh, they're going to have a session.
Yeah, that's what they're going to be doing. We've got Dr. Ho Win. He is the chairperson of the Governor's Physicians Advisory Group. Check in with him. They usually meet on Thursdays.
Yeah.
We've got a story with the Guam Police Department. You'll have to wait and see what
The
happens.
big surprise, guys. What time?
That's at 8.
8 o'clock. So if you guys are not, if you can't handle surprises because you're hard or whatever, take your meds. Join us at 8.
Attorney General Levin Camacho
Oh, yeah.
is coming on the show.
Yep. A lot going on with the AG's office. There was a verdict returned yesterday in the Vargas trial.
Kind of like a partial kind of verdict.
Yeah, it's so
Kinda
interesting to me
weird.
that they, with the Tuck trial, they went in for like 2 minutes and came out with a verdict. And with this Vargas trial, which I felt like the evidence was, I mean, if you paid attention to this trial, the evidence and the case that the prosecution presented, it was so compelling, and I felt like it was a slam dunk. So it's kind of interesting to me what's been going on with a lot of these. There's been some really, really engaging trials going back for that. What's that guy, Jose? With the video assault that they had, Vinny Jose or whatever his name was,
I don't remember.
Jose, and then there was the Tuck trial, then this latest one with Vargas. So yeah, it's been ramping up there at the court. So the AG's coming on to talk about that. He's also going to talk about this opioid settlement.
Right. The opioid settlement was actually something that happened
A while ago.
months ago, right?
Yeah.
And so we've been talking about what's going to happen with the settlement funds that we're getting, and so hopefully we can get an update on that.
Right. And he'll also talk about so there's this thing called HITA. It's one of my pet subjects, high intensity drug trafficking area. And so we've been trying to apply for this designation ever since the Governor Cabo's administration. And basically what it is you go to Uncle Sam and you're like, man, my island's cracked out. I mean, pretty much that's what you do. You're like, dude, they're just like zombies walking around. We got all this meth that we're catching in the mail. It's an epidemic. It is. The crystal meth is an epidemic on Guam right now. And so, yeah, you put in your paperwork with Uncle Sam, and then Uncle Sam says, wow, you guys are cracked out. Let me send you some, some, like, resources. And they do this in these, like, meth towns. You guys ever, like, Google, like, meth? And it's crazy, like, the East Coast and the West Virginia. Anyway, so if you get this designation as a high-intensity drug trafficking area, the federal government will send resources, and they'll offer, like, intelligence sharing and tips and all kinds of stuff. So we haven't been able to get it. As cracked out as we are, they've been like, no, you're just not cracked out enough. But, the meth has ramped up. So I think, hey, better now than never, right? And so what they did was they, after we got rejected again at the beginning of the Lou and Josh administration, they said, hey, let's get with Hawaii. Let's get with the CNMI. Let's team up. And then let's present our case. So apparently there's some kind of update with this that I'm excited. And then there was also the thing they came out with yesterday. Did you see that? That they're going to, the AG's office and the Guam Police Department are going to come up with a uniform lethal force policy. Is that in the news? Yeah.
I'm not sure. I wish I could pull it up, but my laptop is just terrible.
That's why you're giving me that look.
Yeah.
He's giving me that look like, what are you talking about? Oh, because you can't pop it up. Okay, so I got...
An everyday occurrence here.
Yeah, so basically the AG came out with a release yesterday, and I think the surprising thing for me was that where are you at, release? I guess the surprising thing for me was that there isn't already a standard deadly force procedure.
I remember when they did the investigation into the Xavier Tatautau officer involved shooting.
Right.
I know they were mentioning something about that in the press conference
Right.
that they held when they couldn't return a true bill against the officer that fired off
35.
Yeah, the 40
35
rounds.
shots. Jesus. That's crazy.
Yeah. So the grand jury decided not to, I guess.
Yeah, they're like, nope.
Yeah. And then the U.S. Attorney's Office conducted their color of law investigation
Right.
and also didn't find
Anything.
any federal
Any of it.
violation.
I don't know. I think it's crazy. But I guess it's something you could really talk about. I mean, if you were there,
Yeah.
right? We weren't there, but what we had heard was that Mr. Tatautau was allegedly trying to ram into the officers with the vehicle,
Mhm.
and so that's why they shot.
I don't think he allegedly. I mean, it
Oh,
was,
he did.
they-
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and then ended up dying, and then his wife also ended up dying from related to the injuries. Like I think few months down the road. But they got the clear on that from both the local,
doesn't
the
work.
grand jury, and
No,
then
no,
also
no.
the U.S. attorney. So it's going to be an interesting show. And then we're going to go to Hawaii. Our friend, former Adjutant General Roderick Leon Guerrero, who, if you guys don't know, the former general, I just got to say, this guy grew out of, he's got like this huge Santa Claus beard now.
Mhm.
Yeah, so he shot me a message. He's like, hey, my niece is in Hawaii. She's doing this, it's something with like active wear where it's recycled. It's a whole hashtag sustainable. So we're going to bring her in, Kailoe Leon Guerrero, to talk about this active wear that they got. Ken, I don't know, maybe they got something in our size. Think they do big girl size or what? Let's
Oh,
see.
Well, we can ask.
Right, yeah, I mean, who needs to get active? It ain't the skinny people.
Good point.
You guys ready now?
But there's also the GPD.
Oh, yeah.
Project U. It's like a press conference.
What
Yeah,
is
that's
that?
at 1 o'clock.
1 p.m.
What is that?
It's a summer program. I think it's like a 4-week. It's a 4-week summer program between some community members as well as GPD.
Wow.
We'll have a press conference coverage of it at 1 p.m. today.
That's what Ken
Find
does,
out more.
guys. In case you're wondering what this guy does, this guy is going to be at that press conference, streaming it. Sometimes he asks questions. He's got good questions. So this is like, what, for kids?
Yeah, 4-week youth summer program.
Right on.
I don't know more details, but I'll find out at 1.
Yeah, we will. And that's going to be streaming on
Yep.
the
That's-
KUAM.
Yeah, on our Facebook.
Right.
Sure.
Did you catch any of the congressman's thing yesterday?
No, I didn't, because I was watching the public health oversight.
Oh,
hearing.
man, dude,
So-
this public health budget hearing,
Mhm.
that was pretty interesting, too. But I know that's in the news. So let's go ahead and get into it's 6:41. It's Friday, guys. Thank you. We always like to start the show and drink our coffee and just dip our biscuit with you guys and just go over whatever's on our mind. But now it's time to clock in.
Sorry.
Clock in. Joey, clocked in? Watch your hours, boy. Okay, let's do it now.
Carlito's birthday.
Oh, hey, that's it. Okay.
Carlito.
Everything stopped. Unclock out. Unclock. We got to do a happy birthday to our man, Carlito Rosansky.
Yes.
One of my good friends, man. Totally doesn't match his name. I mean, you hear a name like Carlito Rosansky, you think like a Mexican Polish guy, right?
With glasses.
Or German.
Right, yeah, like, hey, Rosansky, get over here, Rosansky. Hey, Carlito, you got anything, a little of this, orale, pues. But he's actually Palauan. You guys know, I don't know if you know Carlito. The guy knows a lot of people.
Yes, he does.
So happy birthday.
He
Not-
should. He's been shooting for a while. We've been working side by
How long?
side for years. I started off with Carlito when I was at Guam Cable News over 1996.
Say it louder, how many? Over 25 years ago?
Okay,
Wow.
96, 2006.
Yeah, he was over at
2016,
Guam.
2019.
Was he a Guam
Yeah, for
TV
25
guy?
years. I believe before cable he was there too.
Or so he's a Guam TV. There's a bunch of shooters, guy. This little like inside media talk.
Mhm.
Well, there's a bunch of photographers, videographers who started way back at Guam TV Productions,
Mhm.
which was they were the guys who they had that one the dude with the half leg. You guys remember this? Our visitors channel. For some
Yeah,
reason,
yeah,
there's this
yeah,
dude, this
yeah.
white guy with a half leg who was like promoting Guam to everybody.
And Maki.
And Maki, the Japanese, he was like a Japanese girl.
And they got the.
You would
Caribbean
remember
at the-
Maki.
At the Chico, or the Tumon EPOS
That was just so weird. Like when you look back at it, like what was this guy doing? I mean, it was great, fine.
Right.
But anyway, so a lot of people came up with that Guam TV, then they went to cable, and then to KUAM or wherever. So he comes from a long lineage of shooters. And now we're gonna sing Happy Birthday. He's not even awake. I'm pretty sure he's hungover. I mean, or he didn't go to sleep yet. That's real talk. All right, you ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Carlito Rosansky, and everyone else whose birthday is today too. Happy birthday to you. May the dear Lord bless you. May the dear Lord bless you. May the dear Lord bless Carlito and everyone else whose birthday is today. Drink a beer for Carlito, but not now because it's kind of early unless you're into that kind of thing.
Or you're with Carlito.
Yep. Happy birthday to you. 6:44. Let's go. Do the news now from the KUAM news team with the very latest. Sabrina Salas Matanani, good morning.
Off it, everybody. We begin by talking trash. Our Tyler Mazzanani takes us to the village of Jigo, where the problem of illegal dumping continues to pile up.
Jigo has a filthy problem. Time and time again, the mayor's office is faced with the same issue: illegal dumping. Every day they go around cleaning different areas of the village, only to return the next day to find that someone has once again used the land as their personal garbage bin. Vice Mayor Lito Leones.
They make me angry sometimes, but we can't do anything. I always go and stroll the area and check. All the cleanup that we did, I go back in there and check the area. There you go again, same thing, same process.
Leones details a construction dump site found in the Challen-Emsley area.
It's mixed with wire, all kind of cement and the gravel, tin roofing I see over there.
The contractor went to the mayor's office a few days later after Leones posted a warning citation at the site.
Are you the vice mayor? Yes, sir. Are you the contractor? Yes, sir. Okay. Can you clean up your junks over there? I'll go over there and check in a couple of days. Say yes, sir. Say yes, and he did.
But when KUAM checked out the site, someone had once again started the dumping cycle. Leones says that the only thing they can do at the moment is to keep cleaning up the mess. Buddy Orsini is the director of the Guam Contractors License Board. Part of their job is finding out if the contractor responsible for the illegal dumping of construction materials is licensed and to hold them accountable.
The magnitude of what we see, the evidence that we get, it dictates, the penalty and the fine.
The board takes into account the environmental risks certain materials pose. The Guam Environmental Protection Agency works with them to determine the severity, and based on what they find, this can lead to the suspension or revocation of a contractor's license. Guam EPA's Nick Lee.
Illegal dumping poses many different types of harm towards the environment. Things could leach out from items discarded illegally. That can make its way into the soil, make its way into the waterways.
This is a repeated problem. At least 3 cleanups have been held in the village within the last couple of weeks. Leones gives credit to the volunteers that have gone out and dedicated their time, rain or shine.
Without the volunteers, we cannot do by ourselves alone.
Leones adds that if anyone is in need of help with disposing trash, to contact the Jigo Mayor's office.
Give us a call and we go over there and help you guys out. Make sure it's all in the trash bag and we will do it for you guys. Don't just throw it anywhere.
Meanwhile, Orsini warns perpetrators to stop with illegal dumping.
Now, if you're going to do illegal dumping, we're going to catch you, and we're going to get you, and we're going to hold you accountable. And we want to keep our island beautiful, right, for everyone.
The issue of illegal dumping has been an ongoing battle. Village leaders and government officials are cracking down on the clutter and warning the community to clean up their act. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Tyler Matanani.
3 off-island companies have been awarded military contracts for cultural resource management services to be performed in Guam, Hawaii, and the Northern Mariana Islands. Garcia and Associates, based out of California, International Archaeology out of Hawaii, and Pacific Consulting Services, also out of Hawaii, have until May 2026 to complete the work. The contracts total $49 million, with 70% of the work to be done right here on island. Yet another GovGuam agency contracted DeWitt, the company whose warehouse caught fire last week. Adelup spokesperson Crystal Pacos San Augustine confirms Public Health's Public Welfare Division used DeWitt's services. In a statement, she said the Medicaid and MIP claims record at DeWitt were scheduled for disposal or shredding, and that claims are processed electronically, so there was no impact to operations. The company warehouse went up in flames, and much of what was destroyed was paperwork. Pacos San Augustine says so far only 3 GovGuam agencies confirm using DeWitt. The other 2 to lose records in the fire were Gura and the Port Authority. An investigation is underway into the cause of the blaze. New quarantine protocols with fewer restrictions may have been issued for verified vaccinated incoming travelers, but those not vaccinated are still taking their complaints against public health to court. Assistant Public Defender Brian Eggleston filed the petition on behalf of a traveler who suffers from anxiety and is seeking to be released to home quarantine. The petitioner testified that he was arriving from Thailand and has never tested positive for COVID. Further, he stated that due to the pandemic, his anxiety is heightened over the past 9 months, and when he contacted National Guardsmen manning the government quarantine facility regarding his health concern, they told him he needed a doctor's note prior to arrival, and they did not provide any medical assistance. Both parties made oral agreements yesterday. Judge Elise Iriarte ordered public health to perform a home assessment and for a mental health assessment to be conducted. The court ruled public health to continue to implement the current quarantine guidance, allowing for non-vaccinated travelers to test out by the 6th day. Department of Youth Affairs clients are scheduled to be vaccinated today. DYA spokesperson Danielle Camacho says public health will be administering the Pfizer vaccine to up to 13 clients. Since March, the department has been working with public health on developing a vaccination plan after the Vaccine Policy Committee expanded the age eligibility for the COVID vaccine. Currently, there are 13 male minors under DYA's custody. All are eligible for the vaccine. The Joint Information Center reports that out of 302 tests performed Wednesday, 6 returned positive for COVID. 2 cases were identified through contact tracing. To date, there have been a total of 8,124 officially reported cases of the virus, with 139 deaths. 91 cases are active, and there have been 7,894 recoveries. The CAR scores increased to 1.0. The JIC also reported that a GDOE employee at League One Elementary School is tested positive. GDOE and Public Health are conducting contact tracing to identify close contacts. Areas of the school campus have been cleaned and disinfected, and regular operations continue today. As for vaccinations, a total of 74,237 individuals on Guam have been fully immunized. With more news, here is Tyler Matanani.
Buenas and half a day, everyone. I'm Tyler Matanani with your headlines here on The Link. The jury may have reached a verdict, but the case may not be over just yet for a former airman accused of rape. Adriana Cotero reports.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Luis Anthony Vargas, verdict form 17, charge 2, count 4, second-degree criminal sexual conduct as a first-degree felony, guilty. Verdict form 18, charge 2, count 4, special allegation, vulnerable victim enhancement, guilty.
Okay, and the others, you did not reach a unanimous decision, is that correct? Yes, say yes. Yes.
Former airman Luis Anthony Vargas was on trial for raping a female minor known to him on multiple occasions in 2018. An amended indictment charged him with 5 counts each of first and second degree criminal sexual conduct as a first degree felony. However, it was a hung jury on certain charges. Assistant Attorney General Christine Tenorio was limited with her comments following the reading of the verdict.
Actually, at this point, I have to say no comment because procedurally, all the other charges go back to a pretrial phase. So even though he was found guilty for the one charge and the accompanying special allegation, that does carry a sentence of minimum 5 years per charge. So he's still looking at minimum 10, but as far as the rest of the charges, I can't comment at this time.
Public Defender Stephen Hattori says he plans to file a motion for a mistrial regarding the single count conviction. As for the other counts, he says it's time to start all over.
There were 20 verdict forms. They returned 2. We had asked the judge to have the jury go back and, finish deliberating, but they denied our request, and so we're looking forward to, giving them another trial and setting the record straight.
Presiding Judge Alberto Lamarena scheduled both parties to return Friday morning to determine how to move forward. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Adriana Cotero.
District Court Judge Ramona Manglotnia denied as moot Take Care Insurance's motion for a temporary restraining order to prevent the administration department from opening the GovGuam healthcare contract bids today. But the court ruled in favor of Take Care's overarching contention that a 2019 law that requires insurers to include all Guam hospitals in their service networks is unconstitutional. The company does not have a contract with the Guam Regional Medical City and contends that the law is an improper delegation of authority that essentially gives GRMC the discretion over who can qualify for the contract. Take Care was seeking a delay in the in the proposal deadline until its complaint could be heard. We spoke with Administration Director Edward Byrne, who says he plans to continue with the bid opening. Deputy Attorney General Shannon Titano explained that the RFP was changed in anticipation of such a ruling by Judge Manglotnia. The requirement to have all hospitals within the service network was removed. Attorney Titano says, therefore, Take Care can still submit its bid proposal and had been encouraged to do so even ahead of the TRO filing. The government employee group health insurance contract is collectively the largest annual contract awarded by GovGuam. Budget oversight hearings continued Thursday at the legislature. Two agencies that played critical roles in our COVID response appeared before senators requesting how much they need to keep their agencies running in fiscal year 2022. Up first, public health.
They've been on the front line at every single battle station against COVID.
I think we've seen in the pandemic, public health go way beyond what the call of duty.
From the QFAC, ISOFAC, village vaccination clinics, community testing, inspections, they've suited up in their PPEs, leading the charge.
I want to thank you all for that.
But what Committee Chair on Health Speaker Therese Terlahi and other senators questioned is why our COVID warriors would be asking $17 million less in general fund appropriations for FY 2022.
If you guys were coming in here with the 17 million, we found savings. You know what I mean? We found ways we could cut our operations, $17 million. We would be commending you, right, for that. But what it looks like is we're cutting what you're describing as things like foster care payments, $2.2 million for BOSA, Department of Environmental Health, $7 million in aging services, and some of the other things you listed, general operations.
Apparently, the $17 million reduction is instead being supplanted with ARP funds. Senators haven't seen the governor's plans on how she intends to spend the ARP money, but weren't expecting that it would be used to fund critical programs that are typically funded by the general fund. Speaker Terlahi saying she was hoping ARP money instead would be used to lift up the people.
We're trying to change the standard of living on Guam.
Overall, Public Health is requesting a FY 2022 budget of $98 million.
Meanwhile, senators also held a budget hearing on the Guam Memorial Hospital. While there's been plenty of discussion lately about the construction of a brand new facility, the focus today was on the more immediate needs of GMH. Hospital CEO Lillian Posadas says the pre-COVID budget was $137.9 million, but this fiscal year, GMH is seeking a slightly higher spending level of $140.8 million. She outlined some of the many measures that were taken to address the COVID pandemic over the past year. But looking forward, Posadas said their main goal:
accreditation. And so we do have an A team working on it already. We've established a roadmap how to get that accomplished, but we do need to have ongoing, intense, robust education and training to get everybody on the same page towards accreditation.
Posadas says other priorities include maintaining centers for Medicare and Medicaid services certification so they can continue receiving Medicare and Medicaid payments. She says they're also hoping to maintain the current reimbursement percentages. Otherwise, reverting to the old percentage will have a huge financial impact on GMH. Posadas adds that another big goal is to launch a long-sought new electronic medical record system by October. That's the news for now. We'll see y'all at 6 tonight on Primetime.
And there is an update into the ethics investigation into Congressman Michael San Nicolas as just today. A statement from the chairman and ranking member of the Committee on Ethics released the following statement: that the committee unanimously voted to reauthorize an investigative subcommittee, ISC, for the 117th Congress to review allegations involving Delegate Michael San Nicolas. The Honorable Darren Soto will serve as chair of the ISC, and the Honorable Jackie Walorski will serve as the ranking member. The other two members of the ISC are the Honorable Dina Titus and the Honorable Vicky Hartzler. The committee notes that the mere fact of an investigation into these allegations does not itself indicate that any violation has occurred. No other public comment will be made on this matter except in accordance with committee rules. And that statement was just released today. Now, the ethics investigation into Congressman Michaelson Nicholas centers around allegations that he converted campaign funds for personal use and allegations that he had an inappropriate relationship with a staffer, which is against House rules. Senators head into session today. Several bills are on the agenda, to include Bill 85 on Guam Ethics Commission reform, Bill 71 related to procurement preference for women in business, Bill 47 related to GVB grant reform, and Bill 90 related to sole source justification. Session is scheduled for 10 o'clock this morning. The congressional bill to establish a commission to investigate the January 6th assaults on the U.S. Capitol has cleared its first hurdle, but a bigger challenge remains. Skylar Henry reports.
5. The bill is passed.
The House voted Wednesday to establish a commission to investigate the January 6th assault on the U.S. Capitol. The 10 members would be equally appointed by Democrats and Republicans, and each with subpoena power. They would have until the end of the year to complete their work. The top Democrat and Republican on the House Homeland Security Committee negotiated the framework of the bill.
Set aside politics just this once. Just this once. I beg you, and pass this bill.
But the House vote broke largely along party lines, and it is shaping up to be a partisan battle in the Senate as well.
I've made the decision to oppose the House Democrats' slanted and unbalanced proposal for another commission to study the events of January the 6th.
At least 10 Senate Republicans would need to vote with Democrats to overcome a procedural filibuster, and some say they're open to it.
A properly structured and run commission could be helpful and give us lessons to learn.
While others are downplaying the events of January 6th.
By and large, it was peaceful protests, except for, there were a number of people, basically agitators, that whipped the crowd and breached the Capitol. And, that's really the truth of what's happening here.
The FBI has already arrested more than 400 people who stormed the Capitol, and they're still looking for others. Wednesday, they released more body camera footage asking for help finding unidentified suspects attacking police with a tactical baton and metal knuckles. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
And with your sports link, here is Dave Delgado.
Sports Link, brought to you by Pure Alkaline Water.
GW traveled to Gigo to take on the Sharks. 16-7 Sanchez in the first quarter. Aiden Bonbon showing his range. Geckos in foul trouble with 6 minutes to go in the second quarter, sending Sanchez to the line after every foul. GW started to get things going, knocking down a few shots. Both teams sunk a free throw. Sanchez up 25-24 at halftime. Arlen Macaldo bangs one out from the outside. He finished the game with 9 points. Big Bro John put the home team ahead 31-23. Macaldo scores and hits a free throw off the foul. He scored on back-to-back buckets for Sanchez as they led 36-31 going into the fourth quarter. Both teams in foul trouble in the fourth, slowing the game down 38-35. Sharks with a little over 5 minutes to go. Aiden Bonbon took over in the fourth. Bonbon hit a couple of free throws and a corner three to extend Sanchez's lead 43-35. With a little over 3 minutes to go in regulation, Macaldo comes in and scores on his first touch. Sharks went on to take the game 59-40. Sanchez improves to 4-1 on the season. Aiden Bonbon led all scorers in the win with 17 points. High school paddlers got in another weekend of races at Matapang Beach. Despite a shortened season, the athletes are happy to be back in their boats. A total of 3 rounds and 2 heats in the 500 meters and 1,000 meter races took place in the Sotero and Sotero divisions. JFK swept the first round in the 500 meters. Sotero girls, 3 minutes 46 seconds. Sotero boys, 3 minutes 17 seconds. And in the mixed race, 3 minutes 19 seconds. Round 2 for the 500 meters. JFK girls placed first at 3:53. FD boys took first at 3 minutes 23 seconds. And JFK took the mixed race at 3 minutes 36 seconds. Third round in the 1,000 meters, it was a clean sweep again by JFK. Sotero at 8 minutes 1 second. Sotero 6 minutes 58 seconds. And in the mixed race, 7 minutes 12 seconds. The Islanders lead the series standings for all three divisions. The championships will be held this Saturday at Matapang Beach. The Guam men's national soccer team is preparing for their FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022 and AFC Asian Cup China 2023 Asian qualifiers in Shanghai, China PR. 24 players have been called up to the Matao, with 19-year-old Anthony Moon making his debut.
We're definitely the underdogs, so we got to come out strong. We got to play hard. No one's expecting a lot from us, and except our island, so we got to come out and play with a lot of pride and show everyone what we got. Yeah, I have a lot of pride to play with the Matao, and I'm proud to be a part of the squad.
The Matao will play its first match of the tournament May 30th against the host country at 7:30 China PR time, 9:30 p.m. Guam time. Guam will next play the Philippines on June 3rd and will close out the qualification round against current table toppers Syria on June 11th.
We recently just got these GPS units that we wear on our chest that measures our sprint speed, measures our sprint frequency, distance ran, and you can't hide from data. It shows our physio, new coach Pavel. He sees everything after every single practice, comes up to us, says, hey, you're not running, and that's something that you can't shy away. In the past, you might have been like, I was running, but now there's evidence to back it up. So we know how fit we are because we see the numbers.
All matches will be played at the Suzhou Olympic Sports Center, according to the AFC website.
We can beat pretty much anybody on any given day, especially in these games. But we go in with an underdog and a chip on our shoulder, and we just hope to try and do our best or get an upset against one of the bigger teams. We always go out there trying to win, no matter who the opposition is, and right now we're just going to try and do our best in China and try and get some victories.
The visiting Royals squad started the game with a 6-0 run. ND trying to get the ball inside, but the Islanders defense closes shop. C.S. Suarez finished the game with 10 points, corner 3, nothing but net. JFK scores 2 quick baskets. Golapin Choi takes the ball the length of the court for the bucket. Nicolette Perez had a busy opening quarter getting to the free throw line. Perez hit 3 of 6 from the line, finishing with 5 points in the first quarter. Jada Han handled the ball for JFK. Assist here to Layla Smart for the 3. Smart was just getting warmed up. 15-12 ND after the first quarter. Smart with a huge second quarter, knocking down a pair of 3s in the quarter, including a 4-point play. Free throw was on point. The bank was open. There was an ATM somewhere in the gym. Jada Han with the step back 3. Deep ball goes off the backboard. Han finished the game with 9 points. Ari Arceo goes window on the next possession for ND. Steph Curry range. Arceo hit 4 shots from the outside. JFK knocked down 7 3-pointers in the first half to stay ahead 35-29 at the break. Arceo scored 8 points for the Royals in the third quarter. Arceo buried a 3 to make it 41-38 JFK. Haley Salas with the follow-up and 1. Salas scored 5 points for the Lady Royals. The home team led 44-40 heading into the fourth. Han with the finish at the basket. Nicolette Perez tied the game at 49 in the fourth after getting her shot to fall. Perez missed the free throw attempt after getting the whistle on the play here. ND's Haley Salas gave Notre Dame the lead with 3:25 left in regulation. The game went into overtime with 3 players from ND fouling out in the 4-minute period. Smart was on fire, hitting 11 of 13 from the charity line. Islanders earned the win 65-61 against a scrappy Royals team. Layla Smart led all scorers in the W with 30 points. She also knocked down 5 3-point shots in the home win. JFK remains unbeaten in ESA girls soccer. The Islanders picked up the home win over the visiting Southern High Dolphins 6-0. Jody Halili led the way, scoring 4 goals. Teammate Tiara Tenorio added 1, while the last score was from an own goal. JFK puts their undefeated streak on the line when they face the George Washington Geckos next Tuesday, May 25th at JFK. Southern will hit the field again on May 27th against Ukudu at the GW Field. The Knights didn't waste any time getting straight to work against the Panthers. St. John's scored 6 minutes into the match, courtesy of Brian Joseph. Tiger Simon put one through 8 minutes later for the 2-0 lead. In the 25th minute of play, Mito Harmon got one to go, helping St. John's take a commanding 3-0 lead. Simon takes the long shot, but Guam High's keeper was able to come up with the save. On the opposite end of the field, sophomore keeper Miles Gannon played lights out for the Knights to keep Guam High scoreless. Tiger Simon scored his second goal of the half in the 28th minute and followed up with another goal minutes later for the hat trick in the first half. Harmon picked up his second goal of the match 2 minutes later as the Knights cruised to a 6-0 lead. St. John's added another 2 more goals in the second half and went on to take the win 8-0. The Knights will face the Father Duenas Friars next Tuesday at St. John's in a battle of unbeaten teams. The Friars and Geckos met up in the second semifinal playoff game of the Boys ESA Baseball League at the Ukadu Field. Notre Dame already punching in their ticket to the title game after taking care of business against the Ukadu Bulldogs. FD scored a run to take a 1-0 lead in the top of the first before a short rain delay. GW's Hoban Lazama secures the pop-up to left field to get GW out of the inning. Geckos respond in the bottom of the inning. Jonah Pareto started the rally. Pareto with the shot down the left field line. Bad throw to first. He's off to second. Another error on the play by the Friars defense allows Pareto to get to third safely. Ashton Gumatautau rips a hard shot, scoring Pareto to tie the game at 1 apiece. Ball goes deep to left center. Tautau being waved to third, loses his helmet along the way. He's safe with the stand-up triple. After a walk by Jace Gumatautau, Franklin Nanette comes to the plate, ready to eat. Nanette scores to Tautau from third, 2-1 GW. Joaquin Lujan added another run with an RBI single. GW led 3-1 heading into the top of the second and went on to win 13-8. The championship game is set for Saturday at 7 p.m. at the Ukadu Baseball Field.
SportsLink, brought to you by Cure Alkaline Water.
It has been a long time coming. A ribbon-cutting ceremony for the foster care group home will be held today. This was a project initiated by former First Lady Christine Calvo's Regalu Foundation. The facility is named after her sister Bridget Perez, who is acknowledged for outstanding foster advocacy. And now, with your news in Chamorro, here is Ken Concepcion.
Buenos Anapades to get some to be tuned tomorrow ni KUAM News. Presenta ni Familian Mito gi First Hawaiian Bank. Ilingay sa adalup na tabiata marisisibi sa lapig in American Rescue Plan. Masaya esta CNMI makonfirma na mato para siya gi Martis. Speaker Teresa Lai asangan na siniguruzigwi ni magahaga Lulion Guerrero gi mapos na simana na poddia sa mananangga para farto magi gizagwahan lotia tungo afa dumiteteni. Mentas mananangga gobyerno sa tawag Departamento ng Administrasyon para manalisto i-check siya para di RISE Act. I-RISE Act na Lai sa manasangi 30 milyon pesos para inassiste ni pandemic. Aji siya mangkwalifika sa manmaapar si 800 pesos kada uno. Otro mas, imo na posible ka na e-empasi deficit ng gobyernamentong guahan sa pwede ma-refinance si business privilege tax gwinigi alatsa. Sigon ni Gida at sinabinida sa salba 63 milyon pesos para gobyernamento. Zagima sa lingay sa adalup na azihin na sa nitokta rating gini Moody's listi negatibo esta establi sinina mas libyano yung gobyernamento gi sa lapi na banda. Ilingay gobyerno na para patutsui sa ni legislatura para manasabi at siya na sinadban sa lapi gini binanda ni business privilege tax. Esta guato giman sempre sisuna si bisyo tagi na system salud, seguridad publiko, edukasyon sa ni ekonomiya. Gima sa sunto, dos na tao guafi no manggayi gi Fire Prevention Bureau sa positibo test niya para COVID-19. Spokesperson para Guam Fire Department ako fitma na timabakuna estidos. Gizon niya release gimatis dadi si Otse Gimadzu, uno na official a report na timamalik sa Nintendo datay guihi COVID pinadesisyon niya. Yotro na opisyal sa Sangoni Loki Guam Fire Department na uno na membro ni familia niya sa ninadzi no ipesti. Turisti do sa mates sa positibo gitamuning na fire station. Jagi después mates PCR. Zanug lokwi na parewa na resulto. Gay gidos gigumanian naman makarentina ipamalo siya ni Manggay gi Fire Prevention Bureau sa man makarentina mentus manan nagaparofan mates. Jadi sa lugar niya fatogi estidos sa ma-decontaminate. Estimento niya ni Fire Department si Dan Stone. Ilingan naman siya masaasan esta gi departamento sa masasanadahi siya gi seguridad na banda dedyo niya palisiyan COVID-19 na sinisedi sa masa na hasuit na islata sa gagagay gi estado na emergency sa pudi COVID-19. Yuto mo na asunto, si John Raymond sa Nicholas Munya sa matsaki pod family violence. Nubina 3 grado na felony, aggravated assault no 3 grado na felony. Za todo estido sa felony sa sineta ni felony release na notisya za niya nabulsong padgon no misdemeanor. Gidya 17 gimadzu, umali polisiya zan Palawan na biktima za ni minor de edad na lahinya za ma-report na ninikot guyas Munya. Pesa ataka ilahinya. Sigano complain hinako na gaganya ipalawan na Munya. Za jiniti ipapa. Después sa pegay timon niya gipitson niya Palawan, zay kanay niya giagaga. Ano liniin ni Mindot edat na patgon, at sa simunya niya zi flask, zaha salawgi para hupara, in lugar tininig wato as munya kontra liga. Makon ni biktima para Guam Regional Medical City pero maamti po denigrido gigwat guru niya. Simunya sa gaya gi pre-trial release gi otro na kausang felony gi 2020 na sakan. Para Guam News Network, Guam si Ken Concepcion. Yasunto ifinut sa moro sa presenta sa ninafato ni Familia Mizo gi First Hawaiian Bank.
June makes the best malasadas in Hawaii, a fact not lost on Daryl, whose brother Byron is cooking the onaga he caught at his secret fishing spot with his girlfriend Malia, who used to work for the Shave Ice Guy, whose second cousin Vince drives the school bus ridden by Calais, whose auntie makes the best malasadas in Hawaii. Everything here is connected, and with the new First Hawaiian Bank mobile app, you can stay just as connected to your finances, and it all starts with yes.
Catch SportsLink on the KUAM News Morning Show, The Link, every Friday to hear about the latest in sports news, game schedules, athlete profiles, and more. SportsLink, brought to you each week by Cure Alkaline Water, airs every Friday across the multimedia platforms of KUAM. Tune into the broadcast on Breeze 93.9 FM on KUAM TV 11, live streaming through the KUAM News Facebook page, or view highlights on YouTube, KUAM News Facebook, and Instagram. SportsLink is hosted by Dave Delgado through KUAM Sports, and he will make sure that everyone knows what is happening on the field, in the gyms, and everywhere in between.
June makes the best malasadas in Hawaii, a fact not lost on Daryl, whose brother Byron is cooking the onaga he caught at his secret fishing spot with his girlfriend Malia, who used to work for the Shave Ice Guy, whose second cousin Vince drives the school bus ridden by Calais, whose auntie makes the best malasadas in Hawaii. Everything here is connected, and with the new First Hawaiian Bank mobile app, you can stay just as connected to your finances, and it all starts with yes.
The world of television is more exciting than ever. Don't miss a minute of special presentations from NBC on KUAM TV 8 or from CBS on KUAM TV 11. Every month, we'll bring you the fun and excitement of award shows and red carpet moments, special series presentations, and other great network programs. Brought to you locally by King's Restaurant, Ruby Tuesday Guam, Bud Light Seltzer, and Docomo Pacific, giving you more reasons to tune in and turn on. Fall in love with TV again with the best from KUAM Communications. Get the job done the right way by getting the right stuff at East West Rental Center. With years of experience helping builders, we definitely got what you need. Call 646-1463 or visit us in Upper Tumon. Open Monday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on Sundays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
U.S. Attorney na opisina ginigit sa Guahan sa manafanajan investigasyon niya pada di insidente git sa tamuning gimapos na Nobyembre ani badga opisyal polisiya siya numan mamaki sa pinino si Xavier Tatautoy 42 anos na edad. 4 na opisyal gui sa matutuhan man mamaki sa uno apaki 31 na tiro y 45 por todo. Inimbestiga ni GPD por este natao.
The relationship between Guam and Manila, Philippines is undeniable as we share similar cultural traditions, history, and heritage. With generations of Filipinos calling Guam home. KUAM presents a monthly look at the capital city featuring in-depth and engaging interviews on everything from medical tourism to new business and government leaders. Veteran newscaster Nestor Lecanto delivers Beyond Our Borders. This special program is brought to you by the Bank of Guam and KFC.
KUAM's multi-platform morning show, The Link, just got a little more delicious with Feed Me Fridays. Chris, Sabrina, Jason, and the rest of the morning crew will take some time each Friday to talk food, taste food, and bring you all the latest and greatest in food from King's Restaurants and Ruby Tuesday Guam, old faves, new hits, and everything on the menu in between. It's Feed Me Fridays on The Link. Uno Go, delivering meals from your favorite restaurants and more, including delivering sodas and adult beverages from the Bottle Shack. Visit uno-go.com or download the app today. Also follow them on Instagram and Facebook.
As May is a month to celebrate mothers and everything they do, let's not forget that many parents in our community are struggling to make ends meet and provide for their children with basic necessities. The KUAM Care Force is partnering with the Salvation Army for a very special drive this May, benefiting our precious and most vulnerable in our community. Through Friday, May 28th, we'll be collecting diapers, formula, infant toiletries, baby food, and other new items for infants and toddlers at our KUAM studios in Harmon on weekdays between noon and 4 p.m. Show you care and help families in need this spring. Due to the consideration of our current public health emergency, donations will not be accepted outside of hours specified. Curbside acceptance of donations is acceptable by calling 637-5826 upon arrival.
Steel Athletics has joined the KUAM Care Force as a community partner in the Mama and Nenny's Drive. You may also drop donations to their location in Timoning on any day of the week. See KUAM.com for designated times.
The relationship between Guam and Manila, Philippines is undeniable as we share similar cultural traditions. After a year with so many games and events delayed or unplayed, the world is ready for anything and everything in the world of sports. KUAM Communications is ready with more games, more championships, and more specials that are guaranteed to bring out the fan in you. Don't miss a minute of gameplay from NBC on KUAM TV 8 or from CBS on KUAM TV 11. Every month we'll bring you the action and excitement. Brought to you locally by Michelob Ultra, Superior Light Beer, and Docomo Pacific. Just more great reasons to tune in and turn on so you'll fall in love with TV again with the best from KUAM Communications.
Looking for TV schedules, upcoming sports, or special presentations, or what you may have missed over the busy week you had? Well, look no further than KUAM Digital Digest. This weekly emailed newsletter puts all kinds of information in the hands of subscribers each and every week. Just subscribe and we will make sure you keep up with your favorites and stay informed and entertained throughout it all. Go to KUAM.com and click on the newsletter tab, give us your email address, and you are all set. Brought to you in digital partnership with King's Restaurant and Ruby Tuesday Guam. It's the KUAM Digital Digest, your weekly guide to the latest information and best entertainment on the stations and platforms of KUAM.
KUAM Communications and Denny's Guam presents Mamapreneurs, a special multi-platform series throughout the month of May showcasing mothers who are also local entrepreneurs in our community. In commemoration of Mother's Day, during weekdays in May, we'll feature daily profiles of these multitasking mamas and their businesses. Additionally, on KUAM News Primetime every Monday in May, we'll showcase a different enterprising mamapreneur. Check out our online directory of all these businesses as well on KUAM.com. And if you know a mamapreneur we should feature, send us a message on social media or email executiveproducer@KUAM.com. Mamapreneurs is brought to you by Denny's. Guam's Diner is always open.
Help us celebrate the class of 2021. KUAM wants to help you celebrate this touchstone moment in the lives of your graduates. For the months of May and June, we will flood the social media pages of KUAM with photos and well wishes for the class of 2021 grads. Log on to KUAM.com to submit photos and brief messages or captions. Then look for your special grad on KUAM Instagram and the Facebook pages from all of your friends here at KUAM. Congratulations, seniors!
We got your 6.
At 6 a.m. with The Link on Breeze 93.9 FM. Bree and I connect you with all the latest news and information you need to know to start your day.
Then check back with Guam's news leader at 6 p.m. for the day's top headlines with KUAM News Prime Time.
From 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and everything else in between with KUAM Digital, we got your 6.
Updates bring us together with important regional information. Don't miss it. Brought to you by Taco Bell, Little Mama, and Ultimate Pacific.
Hey, good morning. Hey, good morning. It's Friday. Friday, whoa, business. Oh, 7:27. Let's head into the Zoom room where Senator Sabina Perez is sitting by. Good morning, Senator.
Good morning, Chris and Sabrina and KUAM and everyone out there listening.
Good morning.
You know what? Thank you for choosing to spend your Friday morning with us. There's a lot of ways you can spend your Friday morning.
I know there's a session's coming up, so I have to get ready for that one as well. But there's always time for you guys, so
Yeah, day. Well, we watched with great interest yesterday, and I don't even mean that cynically, the public health budget hearing. It's a very interesting discussion there. What was your takeaway on that yesterday, Senator?
There's definitely stuff that was residual from last year regarding the budget, right? And I do agree with the speaker that we don't want to be put in that same situation where the legislature has the perception of underfunding a health agency, right? And just to make it very clear that if they need that $13 million, they should put it in the budget rather than bank on funding which hasn't yet been solidified with the American Rescue Plan. So, I do agree with the speaker on that, making that point strongly. I think there's, when looking at the budgets, it's also interesting because, Department of Public Health obviously has done it, has played a huge role during the pandemic. But, just looking at how government is organized, I think we could do much better in regards to perhaps streamlining. And of course, this is probably easier said than done, right? Because a lot of these federal grants are very restrictive, and you have to follow it to a T. But I do hope that, being, our agencies, I hope that we can become more proactive in regards to, organizing the agencies a little bit more so that, it opens us up to more consolidation or collaboration with other agencies and dealing with issues that affect all of us, right? So, the one thing that, I see that some improvements can be made perhaps is in the planning process, planning of how to tackle issues with a more collaborative approach and how can we utilize funding. So kind of turning things around versus responding to a grant. Maybe we can think about an issue and how we can, as agencies, we can collaborate with each other and seek the grants that can support that effort, or utilize the grants that we have now and figure out how we can work within those frameworks. But that's definitely more of a long-term type of initiative.
Did Public Health say why they decided, to reduce, I guess, their general fund appropriation, that's $17 million, and instead use the ARP money? I mean, it just didn't kind of make sense.
Yeah, it's kind of.
Did they kind of provide an explanation?
You know what? I didn't see one, and I was trying to look at the presentation that they had because it would have helped to have more of a breakdown of where that 17 million. I think they did, but as far as like what particular items they were looking at. So yeah, I don't think I saw a clear explanation, but that's something to follow up with on why they requested 13 million. And I think too, somewhat, I guess in their defense as well, because all this money is coming through, right, through the federal government, it is important to kind of coordinate what we can use under their rules and how we can alleviate some of the budget requests. So if all of that money, that 13 million, is due to, let's say, COVID-related expenditures, one-time expenditures such as, equipment I could see, protective gear, that sort of thing, services that would directly support the, response, the COVID response. I could see that if that's the case, then, I think that's fine. But if it's more that, I need to look more at the details.
Mm-hmm. Is it 13 or 17 million?
17.
Oh, is it 17? Okay. Yes, stand corrected.
Well, Senator, this is kind of like, to me, a preview of what you guys are going to probably come across as more agencies start to come in, is where you have this. It reminds me of the two aunties. When you go and you hit up your one auntie for, $20, and then you go and you hit up your other auntie who doesn't know that you got 20 from your first auntie, and then you get a 20 from her. So we got these agencies kind of going to Lou directly, the governor directly, and getting big chunks of this ARP funding or whatever, and then coming to you guys, and you guys are having to, you get stuck with having to reconcile, and it turns into just a big, yesterday, out of half of the hearing, to me, it seemed like trying to just figure out this whole $17 million question.
Yeah, that's a good point. And, I do hope there's a little bit more planning behind that. We do hope that they are thinking about, being more leveraging the federal dollars and not having to, they're not leaving any gaps when it comes to the local funding portion of it. And I think too, like if I can talk about another agency too, GWA, for instance. Here's an agency that is, they're looking to raise rates, and to go out to they need to borrow money to comply with the court ordered projects. And it is my hope that the money that comes from the American Rescue Plan or any kind of federal funding goes directly towards paying for these projects. And that's something that rather than increase the rates. So yes, I do hope there's a little bit more thought and planning, with these agencies. And you're right, you bring up a very good point. There has to be coordination amongst all the agencies and the governor's office to ensure that, we're utilizing these dollars effectively, and saving, saving the ratepayers, saving the, the taxpayers, basically helping the economy and the community.
What about your agencies under your oversight? Are we going to see? Have you already discussed? I'm pretty sure you have their budget plans, and then are we going to see something similar when, for example, Revenue Tax comes to the table, or DOL?
I haven't. We kind of developed the plan. I guess. So in some ways, I did talk to certain agencies like Guam EPA, GWA, Guam Solid Waste. I've been apprised of their financial needs. Department of Labor, they didn't put any request in, but we think that they definitely need support to carry out a lot of these initiatives.
What did you sorry? What did you make of Congressman San Nicolas's press conference? I think he had it yesterday with Senator Moylan, and he was saying something about using the ARP funds to start up that unemployment insurance program. That's all I heard. I don't know anything else.
Yeah, that's. I think that might be. I think we have to balance all the needs, right? And unemployment insurance, as we saw, was very important during this pandemic. But we have to look and see how we can sustain something like that. Especially now that businesses are hurting, because eventually, it's the businesses that are going to have to pay for this. So I would definitely exercise caution as far as using this money without having really thought through the long term and inviting all stakeholders to the table. So I think it's a little premature to really have a decisive answer on this without having more discussions and dialogue.
How about your thoughts on this cigarette stamp tax collection with the private company? It's a new law, and I know the director of Revenue Tax wasn't implementing it. There was they went to court, and so what's your take on that, and what's the status on that? I thought I saw something on it.
Yeah, so, well, first of all, there is a bill that I have introduced. It's Bill 104, and that would basically allow Department of Revenue and Taxation. It would provide a funding source for them to carry out the program in-house. And whereas the law that was passed last year would privatize the collections of it at a much higher cost. So 12%, which is estimated to be worth about $5 million, versus the in-house projected costs about $300,000 to $400,000. And so right now, I believe there was a writ that was issued by the court to require DRT to comply with the law that was passed last year to privatize it, privatize the collections. And so I believe the Attorney General's office, they responded saying they are in compliance because they have started the procurement of the IFB. So basically the purchase of the stamps themselves. I believe they are working with DRT to, at least create the wording of the RFP itself. So that's what they're required to do. The law doesn't require them to award the RFP. So there's still an opportunity for DRT to implement the cigarette stamp tax in-house. And that's what my bill would do, and which is a I hope to bring it on the floor during this session. But I did make changes with it. So initially it would require 1% fee from the wholesalers. And so the testimony that was given, the consensus by the wholesalers is, we don't want that, right? So it would have to come from the taxes that are collected. And I think, that this would definitely close a gap of the previous law where there was no source of funding, and it would also keep it in-house at a more reasonable cost. So that is I guess that's my position is, let's implement it. I think nobody disagrees with that. It's important to have the cigarette stamp be implemented to increase compliance and enforcement of the law, as is required of the master settlement agreement, tobacco settlement agreement. So yes, but this would make sure that this would provide the funding source to do it in-house.
And that's the whole argument, is that DRT can do it for 10 times cheaper than a private company. But what about the traction? Because this was one of these Vice Speaker Tina Munia Barnes, Mary Torres type of measures, which means that, at the outset, you're going to have, 4 or 5 people just straight up opposing this measure. So what's it looking like, your read of the room with the support of it?
Yeah, so I have my co-sponsors, including myself, and I think that I can get support for with the change of the bill. I think I can get more support for it. And of course, this is something that's contentious, very political issue, which is probably why it was never implemented too, as well. In addition to it being an unfunded, right? There's no funding source attached to it. But I think this is a fairer, this would be a much fairer route to go, because the company that does get, if GovGuam, and by the way, this would be the only jurisdiction in the whole United States that would have, if this is for the case, I don't believe there's any other jurisdiction that has privatized the enforcement of tobacco tax collection.
Yeah, I mean, it's a sweetheart deal for Wesco, is what it sounds like. So
yeah, whichever company gets this is they have it made, right? If they're going to collect the millions that has been identified by a public auditor, at least not identified, but they've in their audit they said that you're possibly losing millions of dollars of collection. I mean, yeah, whichever company gets this deal has it made, and at the this money that could go towards Department of Public Health, it can go towards these other health agencies, Department of Education too. So I think it's a policy. Definitely, it's a policy decision. Whether the 36th Guam legislature wants to see, it not being privatized, right, versus continuing or allowing this enforcement of tobacco taxes to be privatized or not. So, yeah, it's up for the body for decision.
I wanted to close it out here with the pause. Is that today?
You mean the registration, the public hearing that was held on Wednesday? Is that what you're?
Yeah, the pets thing. Sorry.
I think it's important that pets are registered. Obviously, I think that's key to ensure that if your family pet is caught by these roundups, it's they're safe. I think that there was some discussion in regards to it's always been an issue of, I think, cost too, and implementing these programs. But then again, I know there's whenever you increase any kind of fees, there's always issues with being able to afford these fees. But for me, I think registration is important as far as microchipping, and I think maybe perhaps I guess I'm of the position that if we can allow the owners to have more flexibility to have any identification, other identification of their pets. So yeah, if there could be more flexibility with that, I think that should be fine.
Right on. Well, thank you for your time this morning, Senator.
Chris.
Go get
Appreciate
them.
it.
What are you most excited about in session coming up today?
Right now, what we have on the agenda, I think is, it doesn't look, well, I could be wrong, but it doesn't look too
crazy.
Too crazy, yeah. But I think there are several bills that are coming that might be more,
Yeah.
there might be more debate on it.
Oh, there you go. Stay tuned, guys. Senator Sabina, thank you.
All right, thank you. Have a great day.
Okay, have a great Friday. Let's keep it in the KUAM News Zoom room and get Dr. Ho Wen, the Physicians Advisory Group chair. But just real quick, so when we're going over the session or the hearing from yesterday, and we're talking about the $17 million, I know the speaker had asked of the $17 million decrease, where was it cut from public health? And the director references breakdown of the $17 million request with positions under the director's office. And under, well, there was just a bunch of stuff. So, and like Senator Sabina said, we're going to come across this probably with all the other agencies who are going to come in and be like, oh, Auntie Lou's going to give us $20 million or whatever. So I don't know. It's going to be a tough budget process. 7:45, Friday, May 21st. Dr. Hoa Wen of the Physicians Advisory Group. Good morning, Doc.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Did you guys still having meetings and stuff?
I hope so.
All right. So last night, what do you got to report this morning? You had one last night?
Yeah, we met last night. We did some I guess some message out to the public to kind of answer some question and concern on the vaccine, because we need kind of get people to come out to get vaccinated. In the past week or so, we see an increase in the number of people who turn out for the vaccination, which is good. We really need to reach our path here to get to at least 75-80% of the people vaccinated. So, we see the number increase after we implement the new quarantine rule. And so we just want to, again, address some concern on the vaccine and encourage people to come out to do that. So that's what we do last night. We also talked about, the mask, the new CDC guideline.
Right. What was that discussion like?
Especially with the Navy and
the Air Force.
I kind of relaxed their guideline on base on the masking for the fully vaccinated people. It's the same thing. I think at this point, what we feel like is that we're gonna wait and see the next few weeks to see if anything come out of this new CDC guideline. But we still recommend that even you're fully vaccinated, if you're around your family or the people that for sure they're 100% vaccinated, then in a small gathering, you can go without your mask if you know those people. But in public, we still recommend that you still wear masks. Just because you don't know who's around you that's vaccinated and not vaccinated. So, so that's what our recommendation still. I know the governor still mandate that we still have masks in the public. So we still going to support that. If you exercise outdoor or you on outdoor with not too many people, you can go without masks.
Yeah, Doc, I went to the gym one time, or the box as we call it. I went to the box one time. I started the workout with my mask on. I didn't even last 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's pretty tough. It's hot. But I would say that if you're indoor gym, if you're outdoor gym, that's different.
Yeah.
But if you're outdoor gym, I would recommend that you still wear the mask when you work out.
Yeah.
It's still a enclosed setting.
It was open air. But I like to think of it, Doc, this is like the high altitude training, when they wear that mask. So if you guys run with your mask, it's like double the workout, right? Right?
Yeah.
You're a doctor.
that's part of the training, right? So I think that's a good way to look at it.
There you go.
But yeah, so I would say that in the small gathering of family member, if everyone vaccinated, then I would drop the mask. But if you're around other people that you don't know if they vaccinated or not, then I would continue to wear the mask for now. Again, it's to protect you and protect other people around you. And, you have some positive case there in the community. I wish the number is lower, but unfortunately, it's still it's still high. So still encourage people to use the 3W. And again, to remind people that everyone, we have like 8 people in the hospital. They all 8 of them are unvaccinated so far. So please go out there and get yourself vaccinated. So that way we can cut the hospital admission down. And also remind people that even you're fully vaccinated, you can still catch the virus. But again, protect yourself. But if you're fully vaccinated, then hopefully you're not that sick. That's what we're seeing.
What was the discussion like, though, Doc? Because you said you guys discussed this no mask for fully vaccinated people on Anderson Air Force Base, Big Navy. But you also said that the PAG has decided you want to wait a few weeks to see what happens from that, right? So what were the doctors saying? Like, oh, my God, it's crazy? Or were they, like, agreeing with it? Or
Yeah, even in the nation, it's a lot of different thoughts and ideas. Some people support that, some people don't support that. And so again, to be conservatively and to be safe, I think that for the state is different. People in the state, they are very reluctant to wear masks, and that's not the normal culture. But for us on the island, we are so used to wearing masks already, right? I mean, even if you get out of your car, you walk somewhere, you have your mask, you run back and get your mask. You're so used to it. So I think that the discussion for wearing masks or not is for academic. But again, I think our people are still going to use masks because they still been very cautious of the infection out there. So I think Guam is somewhat a lot different than the mainland. So I think that even if we say mask is optional, most of us still want to wear masks, including myself.
Doc, what about this FSM vaccination clinic?
We have several clinics beside the UOG that they run every day except on Sunday. Just like tonight, we highly encourage the children come out. I know AMC, GRMC, and the DOE, with the help of the DOE nurse, we're going to run a vaccination clinic for the children from 12 to 17 at Father Doiner's gym. Right. To try to reach out as much as possible on the children because I know that there's summer break is coming. And we just need to get them ready for this next school year, which most likely will be face-to-face. So I encourage the parents to bring the children out tonight at Father Doiner's to get them vaccinated. There are a lot of pediatricians going to be out there, just a question concern. So we highly encourage people to do that. And on Saturday, we have FSM outreach in Eagle, which put together by the FSM community, and we was kind of asked the FSM community to come out with their children to get vaccinated at that time. We projected about 500 to 600 people going to be there. So we are hoping that the FSM community work with their leadership to get out there and get vaccinated. And again, if your children is 12 years old or older, I would encourage them to bring their children along with them to get vaccinated.
What are you hearing about Doc, remember when we were talking about the path to half and then you guys had anticipated after we reached the half that it would be slow going to get to that 80% herd immunity mark. Is that still what you guys are seeing? Because it kind of seems like people are still coming out to get vaccinated.
You know, I think all the incentive, the people to come out vaccinated, you know, especially with the new quarantine guideline, we saw a kind of slowdown on the vaccination number, and then after the new quarantine guideline, the number started to go up again. So I think that as we make it more readily and put more incentive out there for people to get vaccinated, I think we're going to reach that number. Is reachable by the end of July. Again, you know, we were talking about, hey, are we going to try to reach out on the high risk population, make sure they at least 75 to 80% vaccinated. When high risk mean that anyone that's 50 and over that have comorbidity, so those are the ones that we need to protect, right? Because the bottom line is, as long as our hospital admission is low, we are doing very well. And the typical admission to the hospital is really patients that are 50 and older that have comorbidity like high blood pressure, diabetes, and cholesterol. So those are the target that we really need to protect. And we really like to set the goal at least 75% on all those high-risk patients. So right now we come pretty close to it, but we still miss quite a bit. So we encourage people that in the 50 and higher come out, because that's where our hospital get bogged down because of the high-risk patient. So if you're young from 18 to 30, and you know who you are, I know you're healthy, and you might not get that.
We know who we are.
Yeah, and those young, healthy people from 18 to 30 or 40, they really get vaccinated, because remember, if you catch the virus, you're going to bring it home to your family, and you might have people that high risk in your family. So protect your family by get vaccinated, so that way you don't get sick. So. And there's a lot of literature out there, a lot of data that show that the vaccine now, that we are 6 months into the vaccination, and you can see a lot of data out there that support that. So, please, come out and try not to read so much in the internet.
Unless it's the good stuff.
Yeah, it's a lot of good stuff out there.
Doc, do you know offhand, like, what's the number of people you guys estimate who just can't have the vaccine because of their health and medical reasons?
I would say that, on top of my head, Chris, probably less than 2,000 or 3,000 people on the island that actually cannot have the vaccine for either religious reason or medical reason that they cannot have it. But those are very far and few.
Yeah. Man, I saw something on Facebook, Doc. One of my Facebook friends was complaining about, like with the no mask for fully vaccinated individuals, right? Whether it's going to be on the base or out here in the streets. How do you enforce that? And is it a HIPAA concern to go around asking people if they're fully vaccinated? Well, let's say you see someone walking down the road with no mask, and the public health police come out, they're going to be like, the papers, let us see the papers. I mean, how do you enforce it? And is it a HIPAA concern to ask people, like, hey, are you vaccinated?
No, I mean, no one would do that. It's, I don't think we have any plan to ask anyone they're vaccinated or not, in public, just because, it's an honor system, and that's where have to be accountable for what we do, right? I mean, it's an honor system, so we can't really do that. Now, business-wise, if you walk to the restaurant or you walk to a certain event or something, then yeah, you can ask for those, because you want to keep the people that attend those events or go to a restaurant or a certain part where you want to know that you provide a safe environment for people to go to, right? If you're fully vaccinated, and everyone fully vaccinated in the restaurant or event, then your chance to have passing on device to someone is very low. So yeah, in those situations, you have the right to ask, but that's a private entity. But in the public, on outside, you cannot ask people if they vaccinated or not. That's really an honest system that we have to go through. And again, we just hope that the majority of us are honest enough that we know that if we're vaccinated, you can go without mask, and if you're not vaccinated, then you need to put masks on. It's not a stigma. It's the right that people have.
Well, Doc, I hate to burst your bubble, but we're not really an honor system kind of crowd.
And then nothing perfect, right? But we had to do what the best we can do.
Thank you for your time, Doc.
You're welcome, Chris. Okay, you gotta be safe, okay?
Yep.
Okay.
And remember, Doc said work out with your mask. It's like double the cardio.
And get the children out to be vaccinated. Again, we hope to see you down at Father Duenas Gym tonight, okay?
All right, there you go, Dr. Ho Wen, the Physicians Advisory Group Chair. 7:59, quick break, and we're coming back on KUAM TV next, right here on The Link. Good morning.
We got your 6.
At 6 a.m. with The Link on Breeze 93.9 FM. Bree and I connect you with all the latest news and information you need to know to start your day.
Then check back with Guam's news leader at 6 p.m. for the day's top headlines with KUAM News Primetime.
From 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and everything else in between with KUAM Digital, we got your 6. Good morning, Guam. Friday, woohoo, business. Right on, 8 o'clock. Good morning, KUAM TV. You guys are looking good on this Friday. My name is Chris. That's Joser over there. Ken Sanity's running around somewhere. Sabrina Salas Mentanani, she's out on the field. I don't know if it's the baseball field or the soccer field or what field, but we're going to show you in a couple minutes. She's got a big surprise for you guys. Not left field. Nope. Left field is vacant because Jason's on vacation. Good morning, guys. The show is brought to you by East West Rental, Calvo Enterprises, IT&E, and our friends at Jack in the Box at 8:01. Coming up, Attorney General Levin Camacho on the show. And then we're also going to go to Hawaii, brother. Talk with a young lady who's got an activewear line that's completely recycled. It's sustainable. So we're going to talk with her coming up. Okay. And the news is also on the way. But first, let's head out to Sabrina Salas Mentanani. Link on location. Sabrina, the suspense is killing me. Where are you at?
Hi, everybody. I'm here in Agana, where the Guam Police Department, the Department of Public Works Office of Highway Safety, you may have seen them over the last several days. They've been setting up in different locations across the island for the Click It or Ticket campaign. It is officially underway, going on for the next several couple of weeks. So right now I'm here in Agana by the Agana pool. As you can see, the officers are pulling people over, doing seatbelt enforcement. And also joining me now, I do have police spokesperson Officer Paul Tapao. It's been a long time. It's good to see you. You look great.
Hey, thank you. The uniform, it's good. It's always great when I can don the uniform and be out with the guys. But it's a great opportunity to be out. Thank you, KUM, for being here and highlighting our efforts with our officers from the Highway Patrol Division, and of course our counterparts with Department of Public Works, Office of Highway Safety. So we're doing the Click It or Ticket campaign, and we've been doing this for the past 2 weeks. This is one of the staging sites. As you can see, cars are being pulled in, and the operation is really geared towards a 100% compliant and enforcement for occupants, motorists who traverse on the roadway to really understand the importance of the use of a seatbelt. And, you know, being a former traffic investigator, I've seen one too many times where a lot of the fatalities were really attributed to the lack of use or non-their use of any seatbelts or any restraints. So this is a great opportunity to educate, and it's a great opportunity for the community to see exactly what our officers do with, you know, when it comes to enforcement. And, you know, the beautiful part about this location is that we also have a static display over at the Agania Shopping Center this morning. So, you know, if you want to learn more about child restraints, the proper seating, we have each and every officer here assigned to the Highway Patrol Division are trained technicians in installing and, of course, educating family members about the proper use of child restraints. So feel free to stop by. I believe it's from the 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock this afternoon here at the Agania Shopping Center.
And Click It or Ticket. So you said you've been doing this for the past couple of days, weeks. Have you actually been finding people who aren't wearing a seatbelt?
Yeah.
Just seems.
We can go talk to we can actually go talk to Sergeant Blanquisco, who's the officer in charge for the operation.
Okay. Let's head on over there.
Yeah. And
it's kind of hard to believe, though, and these days, like not wearing a seatbelt.
I know, Bree, you got that damn beeping.
Itself, right? So really, we do the educational platform, and then, you know, here we have our officers doing the enforcement platform. So we can have a little talk with Sergeant Blanquisco.
Okay.
He's also utilizing the laser instrument to gauge too. So not only the Click It or Ticket, but we also do speed enforcement. So, you know, we try to really keep the roads safe for the community. Let me get it. Start.
Okay.
Start.
Again, so we're down here at the Agania Pool, where the Guam Police Department's Highway Patrol, as well as the Department of Public Works Office of Highway Safety, are doing their Click It or Ticket enforcement program. So this happens every single year. And they set up in various locations to make sure that people are wearing their seatbelts, and also that they have the proper child safety seats in their vehicles. And they have a display that's going on today at the Agania Shopping Center. Hi, Officer Blanquisco.
Yeah, so Sergeant Blanquisco is the OIC in charge for this operation and this campaign. So you can see, you know, he's also operating a laser instrument. I think that's one of the newest lasers, huh?
Yeah. Oh, let's see what you got. What you got? So what is this?
Okay, so
this is obviously isn't for seatbelt, right? Enforcement. This is.
Well, we can also use this for the
enforcement. Oh, okay.
It's actually a laser device. Coupled with a video camera.
Video. Let me see.
So.
Can you guys see this?
So what happens is actually captures the vehicle and shows the speed of the vehicle as we're targeting the vehicle driving on the roadway.
Just get a shot of that. When did you guys get this? Let me get on the other side. Might be easier. I could see me.
Well, it's better if we go on the front part, so it'll be more steady.
Okay. What kind of violations have you guys been finding? Are people really not wearing their seatbelts these days?
Right now we're focusing on the usage of seatbelts.
On the what?
Use of seatbelts.
Mm-hmm. It's 30 miles per hour.
It's taking a video footage of the vehicles that we're targeting.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a distance of 230 feet. It will actually take a picture of the vehicle license plate and also the speed that we targeted the vehicle at.
That's actually great for courtroom testimony.
Yep. Yep.
They all have the right, you know, to prove they're innocent. So, you know, when they go to traffic court bringing this as evidence, it's really hard to dispute that when you have actual camera and you have the, you know, the expert testimony from those that are trained to utilize these types of instruments, you know, in engaging speed. But, you know, we also, again, the campaign in itself, the Click It or Ticket campaign, you know, if you didn't notice on your way down, we do have a spotter that's actually looking down and having a visual on those that are not using, seatbelts. So it's 100% compliant. Driver, passenger, all passengers must be in a proper seatbelt or a proper child restraint. So, this is, again, we're doing this to help save lives. We're doing this to help educate the community. And we're doing this to keep the roads, safe for everybody that travels on the roadways of Guam.
All right. Well, we thank you so much, Paul, for
Absolutely.
what you guys do with Highway and the Office of Highway Safety are doing to keep our island safe. So thank you so much. Again, Click It or Ticket. It runs through June 6th, I believe.
Yes, but I believe it's going to run all the way into the summertime. So we also are going to be doing other, summertime enforcement. I think in line 2, Sarge, we also have the DWI enforcement that we're.
Yes, that's correct. So we also have the heat enforcement, DUI, pedestrian safety, and occupant protection.
The pedestrian safety, I believe 2 years ago, we had an uptick of auto pedestrian fatal crashes that happened on the roadways. And one of the things that our officers from Highway Patrol have been doing is really finding a education platform, a way in reaching out to our pedestrians, who walk to and from. So really excited for this campaign. It's an opportunity to not only educate our motorists, but also educate our pedestrians to, walk to and from in the roadways of Guam and how to keep them safe and the different techniques. And that's going to be slated for the summertime?
That's correct. Yeah. We also have, we're training the recruits now on the standardized field sobriety test. So Sabri's more welcome to volunteer again.
I know what that means.
Drinkers and so the students can actually do their field sobriety test on the volunteers.
But Chris was asking about whether or not there was going to be a wet lab for, recreational cannabis.
Because of the legalities.
It's legal.
Yeah, it's legal.
Right, the person.
Yep.
So that's a maybe? Maybe? Okay, maybe. All right.
But
So, yeah.
If Sarge, if you can elaborate more to the viewers out there about the A-Ride and the
A-Ride.
And how we're able to detect not just alcohol, but also those that are impaired from other substances and everything. The acronym from A-Ride, correct me if I'm wrong, it's
Advanced Roadside Impaired Drivers Enforcement. And what it is that all drugs will show symptoms on the body, and we can either see it on their vision, or when we subject them to a field sobriety test. The test will also determine whether or not they are impaired, not only with ethanol or alcohol, but also with other drugs like prescription medications or the illegal drugs and opiates. Yeah. On Guam, the most common ones that we see are crystal meth and marijuana impairment, and also on the opiates.
All right. Well, thank you, Officer Blanquisco and Sergeant Paul Tapao. When you guys are ready to do the wet lab, let me know and Chris know, and we'll do maybe not a live link on location, but maybe, a little something.
Leave room to edit, right?
Right, exactly. Because
these are really the efforts. And again, the Guam Police Department, we just want to remind the community to really, buckle up, precious cargo, your kids, put them in the proper restraint. And again, those of you who are seeking information about whether your child is in the proper restraint, our static display is from 10 to 2 o'clock here at the Agana Shopping Center. We have technicians that can actually fit your child to give you the proper advice and to really, give you an in-depth about the importance of the proper car restraints for minors that are still in the car seat. So stop on by. Again, this is an opportunity to learn and grow.
All right. Thanks a lot, Paul. Thanks a lot to all of our men and women in blue. All right. Okay. And so with more headlines, we're going to throw it over to Tyler Matsanani.
Buenas and half a day, everyone. I'm Tyler Matsanani with your headlines here on The Link. The jury may have reached a verdict, but the case may not be over just yet for a former airman accused of rape. Adriana Cotero reports.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Luis Anthony Vargas, verdict form 17, charge 2, count 4, second-degree criminal sexual conduct as a first-degree felony, guilty. Verdict form 18, charge 2, count 4, special allegation, vulnerable victim enhancement, Guilty.
Okay, and at the others, you did not reach a unanimous decision. Is that correct? Yes, say yes.
Former Airman Luis Anthony Vargas was on trial for raping a female minor known to him on multiple occasions in 2018. An amended indictment charged him with 5 counts each of first and second degree criminal sexual conduct as a first-degree felony. However, it was a hung jury on certain charges. Assistant Attorney General Christine Tenorio was limited with her comments following the reading of the verdict.
Actually, at this point, I have to say no comment because procedurally, all the other charges go back to a pretrial phase. So even though he was found guilty for the one charge and the accompanying special allegation, that does carry a sentence of minimum 5 years per charge. So he's still looking at minimum 10, but as far as the rest of the charges, I can't comment at this time.
Public Defender Stephen Hattori says he plans to file a motion for a mistrial regarding the single count conviction. As for the other counts, he says it's time to start all over.
There were 20 verdict forms. They returned 2. We had asked the judge to have the jury go back and, finish deliberating, but they denied our request, and so we're looking forward to, giving them another trial and setting the record straight.
Presiding Judge Alberto Lamarena scheduled both parties to return Friday morning to determine how to move forward. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Adriana Cotero.
District Court Judge Ramona Manglotna denied as moot Take Care Insurance's motion for a temporary restraining order to prevent the administration department from opening the GovGuam healthcare contract bids today. But the court ruled in favor of Take Care's overarching contention that a 2019 law that requires insurers to include all Guam hospitals in their service networks is unconstitutional. The company does not have a contract with the Guam Regional Medical City and contends that the law is an improper delegation of authority that essentially gives GRMC the discretion over who can qualify for the contract. Take Care was seeking a delay in the proposal deadline until its complaint could be heard. We spoke with Administration Director Edward Byrne, who says he plans to continue with the bid opening. Deputy Attorney General Shannon Taitano explained that the RFP was changed in anticipation of such a ruling by Judge Manglotna. The requirement to have all hospitals within the service network was removed. Attorney Taitano says, therefore, Take Care can still submit its bid proposal and had been encouraged to do so even ahead of the TRO filing. The government employee group health insurance contract is collectively the largest annual contract awarded by GovGuam. Budget oversight hearings continued Thursday at the legislature. 2 agencies that played critical roles in our COVID response appeared before senators requesting how much they need to keep their agencies running in fiscal year 2022. Up first, public health.
They've been on the front line at every single battle station against COVID.
I think we've seen in the pandemic, public health go way beyond what the call of duty.
From the QFAC, ISOFAC, village vaccination clinics, community testing, inspections, they've suited up in their PPEs, leading the charge.
I want to thank you all for that.
But what Committee Chair on Health Speaker Therese Terlahi and other senators questioned is why our COVID warriors would be asking $17 million less in general fund appropriations for FY 2022.
If you guys were coming in here with the 17 million, we found savings. You know what I mean? We found ways we could cut our operations, $17 million. We would be commending you, right, for that. But what it looks like is we're cutting what you're describing as things like foster care payments, $2.2 million for BOSA, Department of Environmental Health, $7 million in aging services, and some of the other things you listed, general operations.
Apparently, the $17 million reduction is instead being supplanted with ARP funds. Senators haven't seen the governor's plans on how she intends to spend the ARP money, but weren't expecting that it would be used to fund critical programs that are typically funded by the general fund. Speaker Terlahi saying she was hoping ARP money instead would be used to lift up the people.
We're trying to change the standard of living on Guam.
Overall, Public Health is requesting a FY 2022 budget of $98 million.
Meanwhile, senators also held a budget hearing on the Guam Memorial Hospital. While there's been plenty of discussion lately about the construction of a brand new facility, the focus today was on the more immediate needs of GMH. Hospital CEO Lillian Posadas says the pre-COVID budget was $137.9 million, but this fiscal year, GMH is seeking a slightly higher spending level of $140.8 million. She outlined some of the many measures that were taken to address the COVID pandemic over the past year. But looking forward, Posadas said their main goal:
accreditation. And so we do have an A team working on it already. We've established a roadmap how to get that accomplished, but we do need to have ongoing, intense, robust education and training to get everybody on the same page towards accreditation.
Posadas says other priorities include maintaining centers for Medicare and Medicaid services certification so they can continue receiving Medicare and Medicaid payments. She says they're also hoping to maintain the current reimbursement percentages. Otherwise, reverting to the old percentage will have a huge financial impact on GMH. Posadas adds that another big goal is to launch a long-sought new electronic medical record system by October. That's the news for now. We'll see y'all at 6 tonight on Primetime.
We got your 6
at 6 a.m. with The Link on Breeze 93.9 FM. Bree and I connect you with all the latest news and information you need to know to start your day.
Then check back with Guam's news leader at 6 p.m. for the day's top headlines with KUAM News Primetime.
From 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and everything else in between with KUAM Digital, we got your 6. With our link update, and let's go ahead and do our Chamorro News, which is brought to you by our friends at First Hawaiian Bank.
Buenas tardes to get sunto bitunod sa morgan ni KUAM News. Presenta ni Familian Mizo gi First Hawaiian Bank. Ilingay sa adulub na tabiata marisisibi sa lapig in American Rescue Plan. Masaya esta CNMI makonfirma na mato para siya gi Martis. Speaker Teresa Laya sangan na siniguruzigwi ni magahaga Lulion Guerrero gi mapos na simana na podia sa mananangga para farto magi gizagwahan lo tiatungo afa dumiteteni. Mentas mananangga gobyerno sa tawag Departamento ng Administrasyon para manalisto i-check siya para di RISE Act. I-RISE Act na lay sa manasangi 30 milyon pesos para inassist ni pandemic. Aji siya mangkwalifika sa manmaapar si 800 pesos kada uno. Otro mas, imo na posible ka na e-empasi deficit ng gobyernamentong guahan sa pwede ma-refinance si business privilege tax gwinigi alatsa. Sigon ni Gida, at sinabinida sa salba 63 milyon pesos para gobyernamento. Sa gima sa lingay sa adilub na azihin na sa nitota rating gini Moody's disti negatibo esta establi sinina mas libyano ni gobyernamento gi sa lapi na banda. Ilinga gobyerno na para patutsui sa ni legislatura para manasabi at siya na sinadban sa lapi ginibinan din ni business privilege tax. Estagwato giman sempre sisuna si bisyo tagiyan assistant salud, seguridad publiko, edukasyon sa ni ekonomiya. Gimat sa sunto, 2 na tao gwafi no manggayi gi Fire Prevention Bureau sa positibo test niya para COVID-19. Spokesperson para Guam Fire Department ako fitma na timabakuna estidos. Gizon niya release gimatis da 18 gimadzu, uno na official a report na timamalik sa Nintendo datay guihi COVID pinadesisyon niya. Yotro na official sa sangani loki Guam Fire Department na uno na membro ni familian niya sa ninaji no ipesti. Turisti do sa mates da positibo gitamuning na fire station. Jagi después mates PCR, zanug lokwi na parewa na resulto. Gaygi dos gigumaniya naman makarentina ipamalo siya ni manggaygi Fire Prevention Bureau sa man makarentina mentus mananaga parofan mates. Jadi sa lugar niya fatogi estidos sa madi-contaminate. Estimento niya ni Fire Department si Dan Stone ilinga na masya masaasan esta esti gi departamento sa masasa na dahi siya gi seguridad na banda dedyon niya palisiyang COVID-19 esti na sinisedi sa masa na hasuit na islata sa gagigay gi estaw na emergency sa pudi COVID-19. Yuto mo na asunto, si John Raymond sa Nicholas Munya sa mataki pod family violence numina 3 grado na felony, aggravated assault no 3 grado na felony sa todo estido sa felony sa sineta ni felony release na notisya dyan yung nabusang padgon no misdemeanor. Gidya 17 gimadzu, umali polisiya dyan Palawan na biktima dyan yung minoded na lahinya dyan ma-report na ninikot guyas Munya. Pesa ataka ilahinya. Sigo na complain hinako na gaganya ipalawan na Munya. Dyan jiniti ipapa. Gidespues sa pega timon niya gipitson niya Palawan, jay kanay niya giagaga. Anilini ini mindo de dot na patgun, at sa simunya ni aji flask, jaha salawgi para hupara, in lugar tinenik watu as munya kontra liga. Makon ni biktima para Guam Regional Medical City pero maamti po denigrido gigot gurunya. Simunya sa gaya gi pre-trial release gi otro na kausang felony gi 2020 nasakan. Para Guam News Network, Guam Sikin Conception. Yasunto yung finut sa moro sa presenta sa ninafato ni Familia Mizo gi First Hawaiian Bank.
June makes the best malasadas in Hawaii, a fact not lost on Daryl, whose brother Byron is cooking the onaga he caught at his secret fishing spot with his girlfriend Malia, who used to work for the Shave Ice Guy, whose second cousin Vince drives the school bus ridden by Calais, whose auntie makes the best malasadas in Hawaii. Everything here is connected, and with the new First Hawaiian Bank mobile app, you can stay just as connected to your finances, and it all starts with yes. Is a human necessity, one we need today more than ever. And with the new First Hawaiian Bank mobile app, you can stay just as connected to your finances. And it all starts with yes.
Thank you, First Hawaiian Bank, for doing our Chamorro News. And now let's jump into our sports link. Dave Delgado from the KUAM sports team. This is brought to you by Cure.
Sports link, brought to you by Cure Alkaline Water.
GW traveled to Gigo to take on the Sharks, 16-7 Sanchez in the first quarter. Aiden Bonbon showing his range. Geckos in foul trouble with 6 minutes to go in the second quarter, sending Sanchez to the line after every foul. GW started to get things going, knocking down a few shots. Both teams sunk a free throw. Sanchez up 25-24 at halftime. Arlen Macaldo bangs one out from the outside. He finished the game with 9 points. Big Bro John put the home team ahead 31-23. Macaldo scores and hits a free throw off the foul. He scored on back-to-back buckets for Sanchez as they led 36-31 going into the fourth quarter. Both teams in foul trouble in the fourth, slowing the game down 38-35. Sharks with a little over 5 minutes to go. Aiden Bonbon took over in the fourth. Bonbon hit a couple of free throws and a corner three to extend Sanchez's lead 43-35. With a little over 3 minutes to go in regulation, Macaldo comes in and scores on his first touch. Sharks went on to take the game 59-40. Sanchez improves to 4-1 on the season. Aiden Bonbon led all scorers in the win with 17 points. High school paddlers got in another weekend of races at Matapang Beach. Despite a shortened season, the athletes are happy to be back in their boats. A total of 3 rounds and 2 heats in the 500 meters and 1,000 meter races took place in the Sotero and Sotero divisions. JFK swept the first round in the 500 meters. Sotero girls, 3 minutes 46 seconds. Sotero boys, 3 minutes 17 seconds. And in the mixed race, 3 minutes 19 seconds. Round 2 for the 500 meters. JFK girls placed first at 3:53. FD boys took first at 3 minutes 23 seconds. And JFK took the mixed race at 3 minutes 36 seconds. Third round in the 1,000 meters, it was a clean sweep again by JFK. Sotero at 8 minutes 1 second. Sotero 6 minutes 58 seconds. And in the mixed race, 7 minutes 12 seconds. The Islanders lead the series standings for all 3 divisions. The championships will be held this Saturday at Matapang Beach. The Guam men's national soccer team is preparing for their FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022 and AFC Asian Cup China 2023 Asian qualifiers in Shanghai, China PR. 24 players have been called up to the Matao, with 19-year-old Anthony Moon making his debut.
We're definitely the underdogs, so we got to come out strong. We got to play hard. No one's expecting a lot from us, and except our island, so we got to come out and play with a lot of pride and show everyone what we got. Yeah, I have a lot of pride to play with the Matao, and I'm proud to be a part of the squad.
The Mattel will play its first match of the tournament May 30th against the host country at 7:30 China PR time, 9:30 p.m. Guam time. Guam will next play the Philippines on June 3rd and will close out the qualification round against current table toppers Syria on June 11th.
We recently just got these GPS units that we wear on our chest that measures our sprint speed, measures our sprint frequency, distance ran, and you can't hide from data. It shows our physio, new coach Pavel. He sees everything after every single practice, comes up to us, says, hey, you're not running, And that's something that you can't shy away. In the past, you might have been like, I was running, but now there's evidence to back it up. So we know how fit we are because we see the numbers.
All matches will be played at the Suzhou Olympic Sports Center, according to the AFC website.
We can beat pretty much anybody on any given day, especially in these games. But we go in with an underdog and a chip on our shoulder, and we just hope to try and do our best or get an upset against one of the bigger teams. We always go out there trying to win, no matter who the opposition is. And right now we're just going to try and do our best in China and try and get some victories.
The visiting Royals squad started the game with a 6-0 run. ND trying to get the ball inside, but the Islanders defense closed his shop. C.S. Suarez finished the game with 10 points, corner 3, nothing but net. JFK scores 2 quick baskets. Golapin Choi takes the ball the length of the court for the bucket. Nicolette Perez had a busy opening quarter getting to the free throw line. Perez hit 3 of 6 from the line, finishing with 5 points in the first quarter. Jada Hahn handled the ball for JFK. Assist here to Layla Smart for the 3. Smart was just getting warmed up. 15-12 ND after the first quarter. Smart with a huge second quarter, knocking down a pair of 3s in the quarter, including a 4-point play. Free throw was on point. The bank was open. There was an ATM somewhere in the gym. Jada Hahn with the step back 3. Deep ball goes off the backboard. Hahn finished the game with 9 points. Ari Arceo goes window on the next possession for ND. Steph Curry range. Arceo hit 4 shots from the outside. JFK knocked down 7 3-pointers in the first half to stay ahead 35-29 at the break. Arceo scored 8 points for the Royals in the third quarter. Arceo buried a 3 to make it 41-38 JFK. Haley Salas with the follow-up and 1. Salas scored 5 points for the Lady Royals. The home team led 44-40 heading into the fourth. Hahn with the finish at the basket. Nicolette Perez tied the game at 49 in the fourth after getting her shot to fall. Perez missed the free throw attempt after getting the whistle on the play here. ND's Haley Salas gave Notre Dame the lead with 3:25 left in regulation. The game went into overtime with 3 players from ND fouling out in the 4-minute period. Smart was on fire, hitting 11 of 13 from the charity line. Islanders earned the win 65-61 against a scrappy Royals team. Layla Smart led all scorers in the W with 30 points. She also knocked down 5 3-point shots in the home win. JFK remains unbeaten in ESA girls soccer. The Islanders picked up the home win over the visiting Southern High Dolphins 6-0. Jody Halili led the way, scoring 4 goals. Teammate Tiara Tenorio added 1, while the last score was from an own goal. JFK puts their undefeated streak on the line when they face the George Washington Geckos next Tuesday, May 25th at JFK. Southern will hit the field again on May 27th against Ukudu at the GW Field. The Knights didn't waste any time getting straight to work against the Panthers. St. John scored 6 minutes into the match, courtesy of Brian Joseph. Tyga Simon put one through 8 minutes later for the 2-0 lead. In the 25th minute of play, Mito Harmon got one to go, helping St. John's take a commanding 3-0 lead. Simon takes the long shot, but Guam High's keeper was able to come up with the save. On the opposite end of the field, sophomore keeper Miles Gannon played lights out for the Knights to keep Guam High scoreless. Tyga Simon scored his second goal of the half in the 28th minute and followed up with another goal minutes later for the hat trick in the first half. Harmon picked up his second goal of the match 2 minutes later as the Knights cruised to a 6-0 lead. St. John's added another 2 more goals in the second half and went on to take the win 8-0. The Knights will face the Father Duenas Friars next Tuesday at St. John's in a battle of unbeaten teams. The Friars and Geckos met up in the second semifinal playoff game of the Boys ESA Baseball League at the Ukadu Field. Notre Dame already punching in their ticket to the title game after taking care of business against the Ukadu Bulldogs. FD scored a run to take a 1-0 lead in the top of the first before a short rain delay. GW's Hope and Lazama secures the pop-up to left field to get GW out of the inning. Geckos respond in the bottom of the inning. Jonah Pareto started the rally. Pareto with the shot down the left field line. Bad throw to first. He's off to second. Another error on the play by the Friars defense allows Pareto to get to third safely. Ashton Gumatautau rips a hard shot, scoring Pareto to tie the game at 1 apiece. Ball goes deep to left center. Tautau being waved to third, loses his helmet along the way. He's safe with the stand-up triple. After a walk by Jace Gumatautau, Franklin Nanette comes to the plate, ready to eat. Nanette scores to Tautau from third, 2-1 GW. Joaquin Lujan added another run with an RBI single. GW led 3-1 heading into the top of the second and went on to win 13-8. The championship game is set for Saturday at 7 p.m. at the Ukadu baseball field.
SportsLink, brought to you by Cure Alkaline Water. Catch SportsLink on the KUAM News Morning Show, The Link, every Friday to hear about the latest in sports news, game schedules, athlete profiles, and more. SportsLink, brought to you each week by Cure Alkaline Water, airs every Friday across the multimedia platforms of KUAM. Tune into the broadcast on Breeze 93.9 FM, on KUAM TV 11, live streaming through the KUAM News Facebook page, or view highlights on YouTube, KUAM News Facebook, and Instagram. SportsLink is hosted by Dave Delgado through KUAM Sports, and he will make sure that everyone knows what is happening on the field, in the gyms, and everywhere in between.
KUAM's multi-platform morning show, The Link, just got a little more delicious with Feed Me Fridays. Chris, Sabrina, Jason, and the rest of the morning crew will take some time each Friday to talk food, taste food, and bring you all the latest and greatest in food from King's Restaurants and Ruby Tuesday Guam, old faves, new hits, and everything on the menu in between. It's Feed Me Fridays on The Link. Uno Go, delivering meals from your favorite restaurants and more, including delivering sodas and adult beverages from the Bottle Shack. Visit uno-go.com or download the app today. Also follow them on Instagram and Facebook.
GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information.
Just like the signer, living in the Nunu Husumaga Giitanu, Tisinyo Upanudzu. I revive the language when I write these pages. Mungina Sagwa, how? Don't be shameless. Ifinota's been alive for generations. I refuse to be a part of one that refused to save it. I'm a native, claiming rights to our land. I'll die for the land before.
Well, if you ain't awake by now, you're going to get woke here with Dakota. All life is sacred. 8:37, Friday, May 21st. Episode of The Link. We're sponsored by IT&E, East West Rental, Cobble Enterprises, Jack in the Box, and Pacific Points. Get your points. Good morning. 8:37, Attorney General Levin Camacho joins us in the KUAM News Zoom room. Good morning, AG.
Good morning, Chris.
Well, there's just a lot of stuff to cover, so we'll jump right into it. I want to kind of start with the release you guys sent out yesterday about the working with GPD to establish a deadly force policy. And I guess my thought, first off, was there a policy, such a policy already in place, or are we modifying one, or are we creating one from scratch, from the ground up?
We're building from scratch, Chris. Okay. And this is, as it's come up, as we were working with GPD with some officer-involved incidents, we realized that there was no formal procedures in place in terms of who should be handling these to ensure there's going to be an independent investigation, what our role would be, what GPD's role would be. And, the exciting part about it is we had a meeting with representatives from pretty much all law enforcement agencies in Guam, so that, if for some reason they're out and they discharge a weapon and someone gets hurt, or they drive and they hurt someone, they know that what steps they would need to take at that point to contact our office and GPD. So it was a good start. I think we circulated the draft with you. It's 2 pages, pretty straightforward in terms of what will happen, but goes back to just building trust so the community knows and you guys know, okay, we heard about an officer-involved shooting, someone was seriously hurt. AG's office and GPD are the people we need to talk to and find out what the next steps are going to be and to get updates. So it's, I think it's a very good start, and it was well received yesterday.
What do you know offhand, AG, about is there a policy for like the escalation of force with the officers when they respond to a scene?
Well, Chris, and this is something that, we can't ignore nationally. There's a lot of discussions on use of force. We have the Minnesota case. I think North Carolina, Andrew Brown Jr., there's something going on. So this is a discussion that's happening across the country in AG's offices, in district attorney's offices, and police departments, all around. So yesterday, actually, at the conclusion of our meeting, I had a chance to talk to Chief Ignacio and a representative, I think Mr. Perez, from the probation officer, and they were talking about de-escalation training, in particular when responding to someone who has mental health issues, and just making sure you get someone out there who's a familiar face, and that automatically will help kind of de-escalate. Because a lot of times, unfortunately, homelessness is rising on the island, and you can see just by driving by, mental health issues play a factor in that. Substance abuse plays a factor in that. So you want to have a response, but you want to have the appropriate response. So you're not automatically going to go in there and escalate the situation, kind of what you're getting at. So there is already some training that's going into place. I think it would be a good idea for us to formalize that. Chief Ignacio had mentioned that they're already working on developing some kind of curriculum and expanding that type of training. But use of force there's a spectrum, and de-escalation is always part of that.
I wanted to talk about one of the issues when you talk about nationally use force of police. One of the issues that consistently comes up is representation, community representation in different police forces, right? So you kind of want the police force to mirror what the community looks like. Are we? I mean, we're not there yet, obviously, right? Because most of the police are Chamorro, and there's only, I think, a handful of those of FSM with dissent, and that's the one I'm kind of getting at is do you think we need to make inroads in terms of hiring more people of FSM descent to kind of represent what's out there in the community?
You're always going to want diversity of perspective and views, right? And I will say that policing today is vastly different than when I was growing up. And I tell our investigators a story of I went to JFK, and I'd always come to school like, yeah, we were in a chase, and they pulled us out of the cars and they beat up everyone in the vehicle, right? We're not at that point anymore, thankfully. But they're just growing up, and it was just kind of a normal part of life that there was going to be a car full of long-haired surfer kids that are going to get pulled over, and there's going to be a ruckus, right? But I think nowadays we recognize that policing has changed. It's evolving. Chief Ignacio has seemed very open to a lot of what we're doing with this independent investigative team, de-escalation training, critical response. So diversity, it's just getting there is the hard part. We can talk about it, but recruiting is always going to be one of GPD's biggest challenges. They've had these cycles coming through. They're doing a good job, but it is something that we have to support our law enforcement, give them the resources. And I know there's a bunch of bills about paying them the right salary to have the ability to recruit. So we have officers who represent the diverse community we have here on the island. So, again, I know Chief has identified that as an issue, but it's going to start with paying our police officers a fair wage.
Right. Yeah, and I know that when we had him on a few times back, he did say that he did have one recruit in the cycle who was of FSM descent. He was really proud of it. It was kind of cool. You mentioned the joint investigation with with GPD, the AG, and this is in reference to a lot of these things that were coming out on the federal court side about local law enforcement. Is there a status update on that investigation at all?
And we want to be as transparent as we can, but there are some things that I can't say because it would potentially jeopardize our ongoing investigations. I can tell you that we continue to look into allegations of criminal activity, including some by law enforcement. But until we file something in a public manner, that's pretty much all I can say at this point. But we're looking into it, Chris.
Ooh, file something in a public manner? You mean like file something with a court or like a press release?
Well, both are options, I would say, Chris. Yeah, you'll find out either way when it gets done.
What about this online gambling thing, AG? So this kind of came out, and then it was, was here. It started, I think, at the airport, and then we found out there was support, and then we found out through the Civil Service Commission and documents that were filed there that, I mean, there were potentially a couple hundred government employees. And then we started hearing the chief had come out and said, oh, the Secret Service contacted me, and we heard that from, the airport head JQ. But have you heard anything else about this? And is your office working on anything with this online gambling app?
We're aware of the allegations, and kind of going back to my earlier comment, we want to make sure that we're not going to make any comments that would jeopardize any investigations locally or federally. So I know there've been some statements about the involvement of certain federal law enforcement agencies, and you pointed out there were allegations of gambling both at the port, airport, GPD. So it's pretty broad in terms of the agencies, the allegations. I think GPA was also another story came out about that. But we're aware of it. It's just that I'm very limited in terms of what I can say. And again, I would love to tell you everything that I've heard and all the gossip, but just based on the role that we play in this, I don't want to do anything or say anything that would, there'll be a time, Chris. So
okay.
It's got to be, I know patience is hard, but I'm sure that people are looking into it.
Do you know, though, let me ask you this, and not, I want to ask you if you want to gossip, go for it. But so how does this online gambling app, which is, it's an online gambling app, how does it become something that the federal authorities are looking at?
I don't want to speculate, Chris. So I'm not going to answer. I have ideas, but I can't really. I don't want to guess about what avenue they're looking into it. But I would say that we have our local statutes on gambling. Again, this is not an issue that's unique to Guam. When you have online websites and there's betting, because state to state you're going to have different rules. So there'll be some federal statutes that come into play as well. So that might be the angle that they're looking at. But on the local side, we do have a prohibition on gambling outside of a social setting. So, and we also have our DOA rules and regs prohibit gambling during work hours. So both from the administrative and the criminal side, there are penalties. So if you're on your phone, don't be on the internet at work, and especially don't be gambling when you're at work if you're a government and Guam employee.
Right, and that was kind of one of the things is like, were they doing it on the job? But I'll just say, since you don't want to speculate, that what I had heard was that the reason why the feds are kind of looking at it is because there may have been some winnings that were had that weren't declared, or taxes weren't paid, or something. I don't know. Let's move on from there, AJ. I don't want to make it uncomfortable for you. The Secret Service could be watching after all.
I'm sure they are.
What about this? Senator Joanne Brown had written the governor relative to the former CLTC administrator, Jack Hattig. And this is a bunch of stuff that went on there with the land reports. But then the Speaker, Therese Terlahi, had forwarded, I believe, Senator Brown's letter to you, and there was something about allegations of forgery against, again, the former CLTC administrator, Jack Hattig. Did you guys get eyes on that, and is that something that's ongoing?
We received the Speaker's letter, which you're correct, it forwarded Senator Brown's letter. And we, I think we've talked about this before. We actually have an assistant attorney general who's assigned to the Chamorro Land Trust, who I think, as you're aware, was actually told them that they could not follow through with the recommendation that was being made to assign or to transfer a lease. So nothing happened. That was kind of caught. Legal counsel did their job. The commission didn't approve the recommendation. We'll look and see what documents were submitted. But forgery is a pretty specific crime as defined by the law. And if it was, if there was criminal conduct, we'll look into it and we'll take action. But I think when we talk about forgery, it's not just a general, okay, there's forgery here. There are specific elements that you would need to prove for the crime of forgery. And just based on what I'm hearing, again, it sounds like there was a recommendation that was initially made. It was disagreed with by the executive director. Legal counsel didn't agree with the executive director's recommendation, and it died at that point. So we'll see if there's any paperwork that supports an allegation of forgery.
High intensity drug trafficking area designation. Just a little background. We talked about this at the beginning of the show, but I know we'd put in a request under the Calvo administration. And then I believe it was a request that was also, it might have been the same one, but I know that we were denied maybe in the first year of Lou and Josh. But then you had come on, I want to say last year, and talked about kind of co-joining with Hawaii and the CNMI and putting in a request that way. And then I understand that you have some news about Haida.
Yeah, we got some unfortunate news that our petition was denied, and there was a shift in, we filed under the Trump administration, Trump and Pence, and there was a new director of the Office of National Drug Control Policy. So we received word that they had denied our request to be designated as a Haida area, joining Hawaii Haida. And one of the things that I think we have to concede is that meth is the biggest problem facing our island. So most of the data that we put in there was involving meth and the impact that it's had on our community. We've realized through our opioid litigation that we don't have a ton of data on just how extensive the opioid problem is on the island. And nationally, that is the biggest problem facing us outside of Guam and Hawaii, probably. So there may have been a shift in resources, kind of more towards the opioid epidemic. That's a huge problem across the contiguous United States, continental United States. So if there is silver lining, though, we are in discussions. We're going to try again. We're going to beef up our stats on opioids on Guam and efforts that we're making here on the island to address the opioid problem. And we submit with the blessing of Hawaii Haida. So we're going to still be working closely with them. And, Chris, I will say too, our petition wasn't granted, but I would say we have a much stronger working relationship, both with the NMI as well as the Hawaii Haida folks. And those partnerships go beyond this formal designation. They will help us. One of the things for opioid data collection, as an example, they do it in Hawaii. So we're able to see, okay, what kind of stats are you guys tracking? How are you tracking it? And we're able to learn from them. So there's just a huge resource to have their office assisting us.
It's just kind of crazy, AG, because I don't know, do the Haida people have rapporteurs that they can send out? Because living in Guam and even in the NMI, you're right. It's just everywhere, the meth, and it's just hard to put together in our heads why the federal government can't see that, and we keep getting denied on this designation.
I agree with you, Chris, and it's kind of why would it matter what drug it is that's ravaging a community? Should it matter whether it's opioids or ice? But that's the policy direction that might be taken now. So we know what the lay of the land is, and we know where we need to address what issues we need to address in our petition, and we plan on submitting again because it is going to be important to formalize these relationships and to get as many resources as we can to Guam to fight the drug trafficking issues.
And let's just dovetail off that opioid issue and go into the opioid settlement, because I understand you have some new info about that.
Yeah, well, and what is it? We just talked about meth is the biggest problem, and insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting things to be different, right? So I think we as an office and myself, we're open to trying a different approach, and some of that is just investing in treatment programs and rehabilitation programs. And we were able to secure $280,000 settlement earlier this year, and we made a commitment that we're going to put that back into treatment, into rehab, to put our money where our mouth is, so to speak. So we've provided a breakdown of that. We've been talking with the folks who are on the ground, Guam Behavioral, we've talked to Oasis, we've talked to Lighthouse Recovery to see where there are gaps. And right now, the intention is we are going to assist in the recruiting and hiring of 2 staff to support the residential substance abuse treatment program at the Department of Corrections. We're going to work on a preventative educational campaign on drug abuse, substance abuse, and opioids. We're going to put $60,000 into gathering data on how extensive the opioid problem is on Guam and on drugs as a whole. And we're also going to provide some funding to direct service providers. And when you talk to these great folks at Oasis and Lighthouse Recovery, they tell you things like getting an ID. Just the Guam ID is an obstacle that folks have to getting a job, because you can't get a job unless you have an ID. But the catch-22 is you need ID to get an ID. So we're working with our government of Guam agencies to see what we can do to assist people who are at these direct service providers to get identification so they can apply for jobs, they can apply for programs, and they can get their lives back on track. They also have had a different approach for incentive programs. So we're really excited to see, this is hopefully the first settlement we're going to get and then to start mapping out any future funds that we do receive through settlement or litigation, the best and evidence-based programs that we can support from as an office.
Are you guys getting any of the American Rescue Plan funds or any other type of big funds coming down from the federal side?
Not that I'm aware of, Chris. I hear things going around. I know that there was our child support system is one of the things that we've been pushing for to get updated. We've actually committed about $1 million. We're hopefully going to move forward with that. But there hasn't been any commitments or real discussions on how that money would get to our office.
Wow, that's surprising.
Well, I think you just gotta you prepare for the worst and you hope for the best, and we're gonna continue to perform our mission. And I think we've as an office with the budget that we have, we're doing pretty okay. And we could do better. And there's always going to be opportunity to improve the services that we have. But I think we're all going to recognize that just economically, we're not at a point yet where we're going to have to. It's going to be a tough few years, probably, even with the ARP funds coming in, just locally, our economy, right?
Is there any update or any information that you can provide, AG, about I saw the speaker. Did the speaker forward you a request for an opinion on the open government law relative to the meeting that the members of the legislature had with the governor? And did you have?
We received that. Yes. Yeah. And I can just go based off what's reported. And I had a feeling you were going to ask me about this, Chris. So I actually pulled up the statute here.
Oh,
so
nice.
Under open government, a meeting is defined as the convening of a governing body of a public agency for which a quorum is required in order to make a decision or to deliberate towards a decision on any matter. And I don't know what exactly was discussed, but just based on what's been reported, I don't think that the governor meeting with a senator or numerous senators would count as a meeting as defined by the open government law. But I can just say, just based on what's been reported, we'll have to get a little bit more facts for it. But if I meet with a senator I don't have to put out published notice 10 days in advance, and then 2 days before I meet with the senator to talk about issues affecting our office.
Right.
So we received it, we're looking at it, but just at first blush, it doesn't seem that it would count as a meeting under open government.
Right. And I mean, I would just say that I do know that you meet with senators and, people meet with people, but even at its heart, if it wasn't, a violation of the open government law, I think people just would have appreciated being able to watch the meeting and to see that interaction between the governor and the senators, because that's not something you see every day or, hardly any day, actually.
I agree, Chris, and it's one of those things where, is it best practice? You guys would say no. Is it illegal? And that's kind of the question that we've been asked, whether it's a violation. Right. So whether it would have been a better idea to invite the media to witness this meeting and to talk about the priorities, we'll leave that up to the legislature and the governor to decide. But the question we've been asked is whether or not any laws were violated. And at this point, based on what's reported, I just don't see it.
A few big cases over the last couple weeks. You had the Tuck trial, didn't get the W in that one. The Vargas trial. Just some of your takeaways from those two, AG?
Our prosecutors are there to promote justice, not to get convictions. And I know I think this is just a reminder that we have a very high burden in any criminal case of proving our charges beyond a reasonable doubt. So it's tough. We, as an office, we're going to continue to take the hard cases to trial. I mean, I think we're in May now. We've been in a sexual assault trial almost every week since the start of the year. And I know just psychologically for our prosecutors, it's been tough. It does weigh on them because these victims have kind of entrusted with them to let them present their story. But, Chris, it's just a reminder that it's not easy to get a conviction. It's not, I think that this might have happened or I think that might have happened. We have to prove our cases beyond a reasonable doubt. So when you see cases that get resolved via plea agreement, what you guys aren't seeing are victims who are hesitant to come forward, who are reluctant to face the person who assaulted them. Unfortunately, a lot of times these crimes involve people who are known to the victim and the victim's family, and then you have familial pressure to not cooperate. So there's just a lot of things in there. I give kudos to our prosecutors, to our advocates. We've actually flown in 5 or 6 witnesses throughout this year alone to come in, including victims, because our position's been, we're going to find the money to bring victims in to have their day in court, whether we win or not, or whether we get the conviction or not. That's just a policy choice that we've made. But our advocates not only having to provide comfort to them, but to serve as travel agent and try to book. We had quarantine at the time as well, so they're navigating that with public health, getting PCR tests. So we've been busy. But yeah, I think just it's a good reminder that it's not easy to prosecute, especially when unfortunately, I don't want to use the word patriarchy, but we have a lot of folks who still think, oh, the woman deserved it, or she was dressed that way, or she was out there drinking, and that's unfortunate, but it's a prejudice that we have to overcome when we're prosecuting some of these cases, victim shaming. So we have a long way to go as a community, but I'm proud of our team to really take these things to trial and again, to let the victims have the day in court.
What did you make of that with the Tuck verdict, AG, that they were in and out, the jury was in and out so fast? And I kind of felt like this was a case that could have been ripped from the national headlines. And you bring up issues of the victim shaming. I mean, the victim was, an exotic dancer, right? And so you had all these different elements of this case that I felt just made it so interesting. And I mean, everybody was talking about this case. So was that verdict for you? And I think I saw something with Canto in another media where she had said just because it was not guilty doesn't mean that he didn't do it. So this was, like you said, one of these cases where you had all these elements of, it basically came down to he said, she said because of, the evidence or the lack of it.
Yeah, I'm not going to comment on any particular cases, Chris, and we have to respect, we may not agree with the jury's findings, but we have to respect them and just kind of move on from it. But, I do think whether it was that case, just in general, I've seen other media outlets in particular that have taken a position on I don't want to say victim shaming, but they've taken some pretty bizarre stances on victims and defendants who are convicted, and I think it puts our prosecutors in I share their frustrations. Like, you get mad when there's a plea, and then you get mad when there's a not guilty verdict, and you get mad when we get a conviction and people go to jail for a long time. Yeah. So, justice is going to mean something different to everyone. And it goes back to, we're not there to, sometimes justice is allowing a victim to say their piece and to go to court and to know that someone's willing to come to bat for them. And again, that's something that we want to really embody as an office. It doesn't matter, who you are or what your background is or what your occupation is. If you come to our office or you go to GPD and you report a crime, they're going to take the report and we're going to prosecute it. And we can't control the outcome, but we can ensure that the process is going to be available to those who feel disempowered, because that's the way you're going to get more people coming forward.
Last question, AG, unless you had something else. I wanted to update on medical examiner. Haven't heard anything about that in a while.
Chris, this is going to be
do we just copy paste your answer from the last interview, or what?
I mean, we're trying to recruit. I will tell you that this is something that our National Association of AGs is actually now looking into, because it's an issue. The shortage of medical examiners is something that's being felt across all states. And I think in Puerto Rico, that's where it started, this new project, because they had no one there to help after the hurricane. And they had all these bodies basically without any medical examiner to work through it. So we're going to continue to recruit. Hopefully we get a qualified applicant, but it's been a challenge, I can say. The contractor, the doctors we have on contract have done well. My understanding is at trial, they performed extremely well. But the ideal situation would be to have someone here in Guam.
Right on. Well, AG, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Chris.
Okay, we'll see you. Right on. We'll take a quick break. It's 9:01. We're back with more of The Link next. Good morning.
GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information.
KUAM's multi-platform morning show, The Link, just got a little more delicious with Feed Me Fridays. Chris, Sabrina, Jason, and the rest of the morning crew will take some time each Friday to talk food, taste food, and bring you all the latest and greatest in food from King's Restaurants and Ruby Tuesday Guam, old faves, new hits, and everything on the menu in between. It's Feed Me Fridays on The Link.
Family platter of fried chicken?
Check.
Tray of red rice?
Check.
Birthday cake?
Check.
1 case of water?
Check.
12-pack of beer?
Check.
2 cases of Pepsi?
Check. When you have a long checklist but are short on time, we got you. Get it delivered by us. Order on the app or website at uno-go.com. Guam on demand.
Shoot, I forgot the paper product.
Oh wait, UnoGo has that too.
As May is a month to celebrate mothers and everything they do, let's not forget that many parents in our community are struggling to make ends meet and provide for their children with basic necessities. The KUAM Care Force is partnering with the Salvation Army for a very special drive this May, benefiting our precious and most vulnerable in our community. Through Friday, May 28th, we'll be collecting diapers, formula, infant toiletries, baby food, and other new items for infants and toddlers at our KUAM studios in Harmon on weekdays between noon and 4 p.m. Show you care and help families in need this spring. Due to the consideration of our current public health emergency, donations will not be accepted outside of hours specified. Curbside acceptance of donations is acceptable by calling 637-5826 upon arrival.
Steel Athletics has joined the KUAM Care Force as a community partner in the Mama and Nenny's Drive. You may also drop donations to their location in Tamuning on any day of the week. See KUAM.com for designated times.
After a year with so many games and events delayed or unplayed, the world is ready for anything and everything in the world of sports. KUAM Communications is ready with more games, more championships, and more specials that are guaranteed to bring out the fan in you. Don't miss a minute of gameplay from NBC on KUAM TV 8 or from CBS on KUAM TV 11. Every month, we'll bring you the action and excitement. Brought to you locally by Michelob Ultra, Superior Light Beer, and Docomo Pacific. Just more great reasons to tune in and turn on so you'll fall in love with TV again with the best from KUAM Communications.
Make sure you're connected, the writing's on the wall, 'cause if your mind's neglected, stumble you might fall,
Connection is a human necessity, one we need today more than ever. And with the new First Hawaiian Bank mobile app, you can stay just as connected to your finances. And it all starts with yes.
Get the job done the right way by getting the right stuff at East West Rental Center. With years of experience helping builders, we definitely got what you need. Call 646-1463 or visit us in Upper Tumon. Open Monday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on Sundays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
The relationship between Guam and Manila, Philippines is undeniable as we share similar cultural traditions, history, and heritage, with generations of Filipinos calling Guam home. KUAM presents a monthly look at the capital city featuring in-depth and engaging interviews on everything from medical tourism to new business and government leaders. Veteran newscaster Nestor Lecanto delivers Beyond Our Borders. This special program is brought to you by the Bank of Guam and KFC.
The world of television is more exciting than ever. Don't miss a minute of special presentations from NBC on KUAM TV 8 or from CBS on KUAM TV 11. Every month, we'll bring you the fun and excitement of award shows and red carpet moments, special series presentations, and other great network programs. Brought to you locally by King's Restaurant, Ruby Tuesday Guam, Bud Light Seltzer, and Docomo Pacific, giving you more reasons to tune in and turn on. Fall in love with TV again with the best from KUAM Communications.
Ekangok ega zan edza kifinut samoro giasuntun samoro kada dia gi KUAM News. Gatsa gi idaling na programa gi las 8 gi egan gi esla samoro streaming radio pedi KUAM News YouTube na channel para linabian ng fasilidad mizu. Malata fanita para mas informasyon mentre sa diligencia isang presyosa na kulturata entry sesultan na setbi kada dia i lengguahe natibo ni Itzamoro. Yasunto gi finut samoro sa ni napapatu zan pinalinunudzi ni familia mizu gi First Hawaiian Bank.
KUAM
KUAM Communications and Denny's Guam presents Mamapreneurs, a special multi-platform series throughout the month of May showcasing mothers who are also local entrepreneurs in our community. In commemoration of Mother's Day, during weekdays in May, we'll feature daily profiles of these multitasking mamas and their businesses. Additionally, on KUAM News Primetime every Monday in May, we'll showcase a different enterprising mamapreneur. Check out our online directory of all these businesses as well on KUAM.com. And if you know a mamapreneur we should feature, send us a message on social media or email executiveproducer@KUAM.com. Mamapreneurs is brought to you by Denny's. Guam's Diner is always open.
jet loose. little island, and when I get off, I come back again. Oh, why would I want to leave? Where the trees are palm and dance with me, where a real good song is from a magic day. Oh, I so lucky, 'cause I love Guam, I love you. I've got love for all my jet blues. I love girls born on Guam. They're the ones who make all of us strong.
Mr. Mayor of the Lake Ken Joanna at 9:14. I love Guam. I do. We do. Good morning. It's Friday. Hey, the show is brought to you by IT&E East West Rental, Calvo Enterprises, Jack in the Box, and our friends at Pacific Points. Coming up, we got Cover Me, brought to you by Burger King and Docomo Pacific. A whole lot of stuff going on. Bree, that was pretty cool. So are they doing the speed check and the seatbelt check? Is that also what going on this afternoon too, or?
No, this afternoon is that Project U? They have that press conference at 1 o'clock.
Oh, yeah,
That's not part of it. But they are having a display at the Agania Shopping Center that people can go and learn more about, driving safety, what is an appropriate child seat for your children. Because, I didn't know as my son grew older, it's like, I don't think he could use that particular child seat. So you get the booster seat, and now he's just sitting in the seat.
Right. It's crazy if you actually read what the law is. It's like your kid, I think it's up to 8 years old or something. I mean, maybe that's why you need to go check the static display, because, we don't even know what it is.
Right. But what's also cool is, and you saw a little bit of it, I was trying to show that new piece of equipment that they got. It's able to,
that looked like the thing from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
I'm not sure, but they just got that new piece of equipment. I think it's called True something.
Laser.
Yeah, but it's a new laser gun where they can. It records video. It takes pictures.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could see in the camera, because you couldn't really see it, but you could see people driving.
Well,
in the video.
That's crazy.
It's
does it have filters?
In. I don't know.
But Bree, you brought up a good point in that interview. Like, the one thing that really stuck with me was when you said, "Are people still going around without their seatbelts on in 2021?" Because every car has that annoying ass boom, 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 boom. If you don't buckle your seatbelt, so how do you drive down the road with that thing going off?
You need one of those for masks.
Yeah. All right. That was pretty cool, Bree, to head out there and check that out. So
I hadn't seen Paul in over a year, or
right.
the highway guys
in
person, right?
Yeah,
so I was like, oh my gosh, hi. Nice to kind of,
You should have brought him these donuts.
I should have.
Dang. Not to make a cops and donuts joke, but it is what it is. Well, we can't have donuts around here because everybody's on a weight loss challenge.
Hey, are you going through Agania on your way home?
What?
Guys?
Not if there's a speed trap. Hell no. It's 9:17. Let's turn it over to our friend at Ken Sanity. Guys, at Ken Sanity, he's all over the social media. You guys follow him. He's just a really, man, Ken and I go way back. And just from he's got this esports thing it's a little esports league you might have heard of. It's actually the only.
Yeah,
it's the only
nice.
esports league.
I mean, ever since we've been having these bro
Yeah.
lunches together, you've been giving me a lot of shout-outs. Thanks,
What do you
Chris.
mean I've been giving you a lot? I always shouted you out since day one, bro.
Yeah.
But before this, he had in his previous life, he was a matchmaker for Pacific Extreme Combat, PXC, which I thought that's pretty cool, Ken.
Thanks, man.
And he's our social media manager, so he does all this KUAM news, social media, and he's at Ken Sanity, and he's standing in for Jason Solis. And this is normally an interview we'd throw over to Jason, but Ken is going to handle this. We're going to bring on a young lady who's in Hawaii. She's tomorrow, though. We're just not going to interview some random Hawaiian on here. Oh, brother! But we're going to bring on to the KUAM News Zoom room Shiloh Leon Guerrero. And Ken, go ahead and take it away. Shiloh, good morning.
Good morning. Ouch.
Hey, Shiloh, how you doing? So Chris, he sent us some pictures in our little chat about a clothing line that you have created, a sustainable clothing line. Maybe you could elaborate a little bit more on what you've created and why you created it.
Yeah, I created and what I like to call environmentally friendly activewear line, just because that sustainable word gets thrown out a lot, kind of loosely these days, and a lot of people don't really fully understand what it means to be sustainable. But I call it environmentally friendly just because the fabrics that I chose to use for this activewear line are recycled fabrics. So what that means is I have fabrics that are made out of plastics that you find in the ocean, things that are washing towards the ocean, things that we give to recycling collection centers, and they take those plastics and repurpose it. They melt it down into, the whole plastic production process is they wash it into flakes and they melt it down into pellets, and then they melt down those pellets to create what's called filament, and those filaments are what are used to make yarn to make into fabrics. So all of my fabrics are all made out of recycled plastics. I have a couple of different fabric options that I'll spare you guys all the technicalities of it all. But the reason why I wanted to create this activewear business is because I saw the need for this for recycled activewear. There was a space that needed to be filled, especially here in Hawaii and Guam. I'm sure, all of us Pacific Islanders, we kind of share the same sentiments about that. And, growing up my entire life, people always told me, Shiloh, you need to get into swimwear. Swimwear is where it's at. You can charge so much money for just this little bit of fabric. Sure. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I like the beach just as much as any other islander, but that just wasn't something I was passionate about enough to get into. But activewear is something I can resonate with a little bit more, just because not only am I creating fabrics, an opportunity for people to buy fabrics that are recycled, but I'm also contributing to people living healthier, active lifestyles. So that was the need I saw that needed to be filled. I wanted to do it, and I made it happen. Long story short, that's how I did it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you mentioned that you get these recyclable materials, I guess, processed in a way so that it produces like the thread or whatever for your apparel, right? Are these recyclable materials from the area you live, like in Hawaii, or are these, outsourced from, I don't know, some other country and brought to you?
Yeah, so I wish, unfortunately they're not, but I absolutely wish they were. I'm constantly thinking 1,000 miles ahead of where I'm currently at with my position, or where my business stands right now. So I'm already thinking ahead to what is the end of life for my activewear, for my customers that are buying my activewear, or even for the activewear they already have while they're buying my activewear. That's something I'll have to deal with in the future. I would love to be able to use plastics that are washing up here in Hawaii. That's something I'll pencil down and see if I could do. But for right now, the fabrics that I'm using are made in places like Italy or Taiwan. They're kind of from all over the world. They are fabrics that are very well known for amongst high-end retailers and brand names that we're all pretty familiar with. Companies like Volcom, H&M, Adidas, and Nike, they all use these fabrics. Quicksilver and Roxy too. So they are, like I said, they're made in Italy. My favorite one is made in Italy. They're made in Taiwan. My manufacturer is the garment manufacturer is in Indonesia, in Bali. And I was very, very picky about who I was choosing to make these garments for me, because I knew that the garment manufacturing industry is a sticky one.
Sure.
And I wanted to make sure that my product was 100% as ethical as I could possibly make it. Otherwise, I could just not justify myself going into business knowing that somebody somewhere in the world was being disadvantaged by my business. I couldn't sleep at night if that was the case. So my garment manufacturer, as well as my fabric manufacturers that I use, they're all sustainable and ethical the entire step of the way. I developed a pretty close relationship with my garment manufacturer. I'm constantly on WhatsApp or Instagram messaging her and her friend, her coworker, who has become my friend. Actually, we're pretty close. They send me pictures. We video chat and everything. So I pride myself in the fact that I've developed such a personal relationship with these girls, these women, and that they are able to contribute to a positive impact in the garment manufacturing industry. Being sure that they're giving their employees adequate time off, clean work facilities, medical care, food, and all of that. For example, it was just Ramadan, and a lot of my manufacturer's employees celebrate that. So she was very, very clear with me that she would be taking this much time off from her business to give her employees that time off so that they partake in their personal lives and their spiritual journeys. And I told her, by all means, do not let me be the reason why your employees are not able to celebrate that for themselves. I don't want to have to, take that away from them. So I said, please, fast fashion is the reason why these people in these least developed countries have such minimal resources and minimal rights. And so slow fashion is what I'm going for. And if that means, I have to take my business a little bit slower, I have to respect the process that my manufacturer is going through in developing her team, her business, and my business in turn, then I'm all for it.
Now, that's awesome. I think it's very admirable that you obviously have taken these social issues at heart and made sure that you account for the different ethnic values or cultural values of your suppliers and manufacturers. So I think that's very cool. I have a bunch of questions to ask you, and I find this topic, I find your business pretty interesting. But before I lose this one particular question, I'm just going to go and ask it. So, can you tell the difference in the material that you use from, I guess, the traditional fabrics used for activewear? Does it feel like when it gets wet from sweat, is it more slippery, or is it wicking up the moisture just as well?
That's actually a really good question, and no, you can't tell. In particular, there is a very specific manufacturing process that the fabric manufacturer in Italy, I know for sure, they pride themselves on, is that they can recycle their plastics and turn it into a nylon that is pretty much infinitely recyclable because the quality is there. A lot of times, as I'm sure you're familiar, when you recycle things, the recycled product ends up diminishing in quality and usability, but that's not the case with these fabrics that I'm using. They're all moisture wicking. They're all some of them are also even UV repellent, or they've got that UV properties in them.
Sure.
And moisture wicking. Yeah, you said that. I said that. And yeah, all of the general activewear properties that you see in a lot of the bigger name brands is what I've got in Kumana Activewear.
That's awesome. Earlier in the interview, you had stressed how one of the things you wanted to focus on was making sure that your product had the long lifespan. So I just wanted to see if you could clarify how long do these garments last? I mean, are you seeing a distinct difference in the the lifespan of this versus like a cotton fabric, or?
Right. That is also a really good question. I'm gonna have to research exactly how long these garments last in terms of like how many washes it can go through, how many wears it can go through. I can tell you that something that I'm really pushing for my customers to be conscious of is how they're laundering their garments, because a lot of people don't really know that cold water is how you want to launder your garments. For the most part, I could guarantee you could check all of your clothes in your wardrobe and it's probably going to say cold water. I know some people do some hot water sometimes, and also tumble dry on low heat if you're tumble drying at all. Okay. So my active wear, I have it written on my website. I have it written on my Instagram. I even send a thank you email with every purchase, specifically listing the laundry recommendations. Also, I recommend that my customers are using a delicates bag, and I specifically name Guppy Friend as a really great option that I like to use personally. Guppy Friend filters microfibers from entering the waterways when you launder your clothes, and it prevents snags too. So what I'm really, really pushing again is proper care of your laundry so that it does last a long time.
That's great. Chris had a question too about the profitability of an industry like this, because typically we will pay a higher price point for recycled quality materials. Are you finding any kind of issues with that on your end, or I mean, do the margins for you look sustainable or adequate for your needs, I guess?
Also, something that I've been working on is educating my customers on what it means to buy, like I said, fast fashion, knowing that when you're paying a lower price, odds are the people who made the garment that you're paying a lower price for probably aren't getting paid a fair wage either. And that speaks to the quality of the garment as well. So a higher priced garment doesn't necessarily mean a better quality and ensuring ethical standards in the garment manufacturing industry. However, with me, I can guarantee you 100% that that's where my prices is a little bit higher, as you stated. It's because you know that this sort of industry can be more expensive. But it's all about educating my customers as to why that is so, and justifying it to them that this is why you can purchase a higher price item is because it's better quality. There's a lot more research and sustainability that does go into it, and justifying to them that you're ensuring that the employees in the manufacturing facilities are being paid fair wages. I hope that answered your question. I feel like I'm just going off on a tangent.
No, that does. I also wanted to find out, so like, what is your general market niche? Like, are you looking to reach people in, Hawaii, or have you contacted people or distributors, retailers on Guam?
Yeah, there's actually a comment in here, Shiloh. Maggie comments, and what is her website? I think people want to buy this stuff.
It's kumanaactive.com. So KUMANA active.com. You can also find me on Instagram under the same handle @KumanaActive. You should be able to Google me too. I should come up and test my keywords and my SEO.
Google her. We'll definitely put up a link on our Instagram. I'll swipe up to it later today. So.
Oh yeah, sure. Oh, are you playing my launch video?
Oh yeah, there we got. Chris is checking it out right now. So I mean, are any immediate plans to be placed in any Guam retailers or Hawaii local establishments? Or
I would love to. I'm actually really picky about what doors I want to be associating myself with, just because I'm that detail oriented. Even some of my friends here are saying, "Oh, you should get into Nordstrom and Ala Moana," which is our major shopping center here in Honolulu. And I'm like, yeah, maybe we'll see. I'd much rather set up a pop-up shop in a smaller local boutique, because that's more of my jive, and the kind of customer that I want to identify with. I'm really not trying to cater to the masses immediately. I want us to be able to start small and focus on education first, and then be able to grow from there. And if the masses want to be educated and want to contribute to environmentally friendly, ethical kinds of fashion, then I'm here for it. You know, I'm all for it. But yeah, right now, if you have any marketplaces or any smaller boutiques on Guam that might be interested, I'm all ears. You know, I'm super open to a lot of things. I'm very receptive to whatever you can throw my way.
Sure, great. What are your top sellers in terms of apparel items? Like we're talking like leggings or
yeah.
sports bra
Surprisingly, it's not my leggings that are the top seller right now. It's the Racerback sports bra. And I've already sold out of a couple of sizes on that one, especially in black, which I fully expected because everybody wants to wear black for their workout gear. But yeah, the Racerback sports bra, the bike shorts are selling out. I'm already working with my manufacturer to get a second delivery to restock the black in some of those styles. And then I'm bringing on some new styles as well and some new fabrics and test that out, see how everybody likes it. And then based off of whatever everyone likes, I'll bring back the products and the fabrics that people respond to the best, and we'll go move away from the ones that maybe not so much. But yeah, I see this as like this is a two-way relationship for me. I'm not here to, I mean, of course I have to make some sort of a profit, but the profit for me is not something that I'm super focused on, because to me it's as long as I can make my customers happy, they're gonna keep coming back to me and seeing me as that destination activewear brand that can provide sustainability, the environmentalism, and the ethical product.
No, thank you so much, Shiloh. It's a pleasure having you on the show to talk about your little business venture here that's very socially responsible, and that's a great idea. It's awesome. Like it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you for having me.
Do you do guy stuff?
I want to, actually. A lot of people have been asking me for menswear, so trust me, that is on the horizon. I do want to.
All right. Well, when you come out with the size 38 leggings, let us know.
Size
Dibs.
40. Who you
Dibs.
kidding about? Size 40.
Oh, size 40. My bad. I was being generous.
Got it.
Okay. Thank you, Shiloh.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Have
a
a
good
there
one.
you go. Right on. I should have said size 38-ish, right, Ken?
38, around there, roughly.
All right. That's cool. Catch up with people from Guam living abroad and doing cool things. Some other cool things that we do around here is stuff our faces. Like, people give us money to stuff our faces. Isn't that a dream job or what? Oh, did I dress it down a little too much? It's a segment we like to call, well, we actually do call it this, Feed Me Fridays. And we'll go ahead and do this. We do it every Friday. It's brought to you by Ruby Tuesdays. It's Feed Me Fridays. And Ken and I went on a little bro date.
We did.
Got a little steak.
I definitely need this activewear line after that buffet, man.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Just so you guys know, the backstory is Ken, Sabrina, and there's a bunch of people here who are doing this like weight loss challenge. And so
I've been outed.
Yeah, people pay me $5 to go and like make sure their competitors are eating. So that's what I did for Ken. We went to Ruby Tuesday for this morning's Feed Me Fridays.
Feed Me Fridays is brought to you by King's Restaurants and Ruby Tuesday Guam. Feed Me Fridays is brought to you by King's Restaurants and Ruby Tuesday Guam.
Welcome to Feed Me Fridays here on The Link. I'm Ken Sinickas. I'm joined by my co-host today, Mr. Malfunction, Chris Barnett.
Thank you, Ken, for inviting me along for this date day.
You know, I like the Wednesday dates.
Right. Yeah.
I like these dates.
So we shoot this, I mean, full disclosure, guys, We shoot it like a day or two before it actually airs. And we're doing steak today.
Yep, and we both have the top sirloin steak here, but we have them prepared differently.
Right.
So I have mine with a crab cake on the top, as you can see, the baked potato as well as garlic string beans.
Right. Ken, what is that on top of your steak? What manner of sorcery is that?
That is a crab cake with some type of saucy concoction that I have not tried, but I'm going to try in a little bit.
So this is like surf and turf.
Indeed, but you can get tons of different
Right.
add-on options. You can have lobster tails. You can have a variety of different shrimps prepared in
I
different
got
ways.
the breaded fried shrimp, and I asked them to put it on the side. Like if you want it on top of your steak with the spicy, the sweet chili. You know how much we love that sweet chili on Guam. If you want that sweet chili sauce on it, you can do that too. But you're right, Ken. They have a lot of different options, which I think is really cool because, steak, baked potato, it's so classic. But to kick it up a notch with a crab cake on top, man, YOLO.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I really enjoy this, and sirloin is a pretty base style of steak, right? It's like a fundamental type of meat, but not everyone wants it the same way, right? So they'll definitely having the luxury and being able to customize it in a way that fits your palate.
Right.
It's pretty cool.
Yep.
So.
And this is what I call the You Survived a Pandemic special. You survived a pandemic. You know what? Get a crab cake with the creamy sauce on top of your steak. Go for it.
I deserve it, I deserve it.
Right on.
You got onion rings on yours.
Okay, so I
look at
just
the baked potatoes. Baked potatoes are even different too.
Right. So my baked potato, I got all the fixings, which, as you can see, is the butter, the sour cream, the cheddar cheese, the bacon bits. And I went for cheat day, so I got my onion rings. I got my fried breaded shrimp. There's I believe this is a Denatsi pica sauce here.
Wow.
And of course I got my steak naked, with nothing on it.
There you go.
Because I want to kind of try and taste the meat here at Ruby Tuesday.
Should we go into the steaks first? Let's
go. Yeah, let's go on the steaks.
All right, let's do that.
Let's do it. First things first.
This glorious crab cake to the side. I'll cut into the.
You're gonna move it to the side? I thought you were just gonna get it all in one bite.
Nah, we gotta test the cut of the steak. Mine is nice.
Oh, nicely cooked. They coming nice with it, Ken?
Oh, good. It's very good. Wow. I'll try another one. I gotta try two just to make sure, because things with sirloin, is it's pretty lean, right? So
very lean.
But this is surprisingly very, very flavorful and very tender. Like, I'm not used to sirloins being this tender, to be honest. So I'm actually pretty impressed. I like the way they cooked it.
I'm gonna go ahead and try another one because, I don't know if they accidentally slipped a ribeye onto our plates, but you're right, man. This sirloin.
It is sirloin, right? I mean, it is a sirloin steak, right?
It's so juicy.
It is really juicy.
Very well seasoned.
Perfect temp, too.
Wow.
Every few bites, I gotta have like some green beans in it to, make me feel like I'm like, not.
Well, let me give this shrimp a try here. Steak and shrimp. Come on, guys.
What is that, the shrimp? Onion ring.
Bro, this shrimp is fire.
Is it? Looks pretty good. Let me try it. Let me try this crab cake.
That's a Chesapeake Bay crab cake.
Try not to.
I mean, that crab cake had to do a 14-day quarantine when it came to Guam from Chesapeake Bay.
It was good, man.
Ken, what's that flavor combo like? Because I'm getting, I got my shrimp over here, so I'm doing a little surf and turf too.
Man, it's so hard to say because once I take a bite of the crab cake, I'm like, I fully invested into the crab cake right now.
Right.
Man, what can I compare this to?
Well, that's a kicker, Ken, is there is no comparison when it comes to Ruby Tuesday.
Definitely true. Definitely true. This is actually really, really good. Let me go back to the steak real quick.
Let me check their onion rings.
I mean, the flavor is just so distinct. Like, it tastes, obviously the crab cake, does not taste like the steak, clearly, right?
Right.
But it is just very, very tasty.
What's it like having it together like that?
Come on, man. I'm going to get this more often.
Right.
So, I actually like this. I've never had this type of pairing before. So,
well, that's what's so unique about it. Like I said, top sirloin, yeah, okay. A lot of people do it, but no one does it like Ruby Tuesday.
Yeah.
Where you can just go crazy. You can put your crab cake on top, you get your shrimp on top.
Now,
do you?
Dude, crab cake's good.
It is.
It's really, really good, actually.
And Ken is a crab cake guy.
Yeah, usually I like crab cakes. I like seafood.
Yeah.
Right? So
I like
digging that.
seafood too. I seafood and I eat it.
Yep. And maybe crab cake is not your thing. Remember, you can always get lobster or you can get shrimp like Chris, and maybe not like breaded shrimp. You can get
they have skewered shrimp too.
Yeah, skewered shrimp.
I love this. This sirloin's good, and I'm going no fin at any. I'm just going raw.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Ken's doing this weight loss challenge. That's why he's got green on his plate.
I know. Hold off on my butter cake. Don't bring the butter cake out yet.
Right. And you know what else is cool is we're washing it down with. They got some great lemonades here at Ruby Tuesday. So I've tried the blackberry, the mango lemonade, and I'm trying the strawberry lemonade, which is crazy. If you see, I don't know if you see that there. Look at that, guys. There's a, yep. Bits of strawberry just keep getting stuck in my straw. There's so much strawberry in here, Ken, that they should call it Strawberry-Aid.
I honestly don't know which one of the lemonades I prefer the most. I had the strawberry last week.
Right.
I had the mango the week before. Those were both like really, really good.
Get them all. Try it all.
Try this one. What is this one? Mixed berry?
Oh, damn, Ken, you hear that?
Ooh. It's tart.
Tart,
like
right?
That.
Right on.
Oh, yeah.
You hear that, though?
What is that?
I don't know if you guys can hear that crying. I think my baked potato is crying because it's being neglected.
Mine too.
So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do something. I'm going to do something crazy here. I'm going to get me a little bite of my steak. And a little bite of my baked potato. With all that healthy stuff. Ruby, my girl. Ruby Tuesday. And it is Ruby Tuesday, so every Tuesday, they got it going up on a Tuesday.
2 for Tuesday.
Right on.
Any entree for $25.99?
Any 2 entrees.
Yeah, there you go.
They're putting the 2 in Tuesday. Any 2 entrees, $25.99. Yep. Bring a friend. And it's also all-day happy hour on Tuesdays.
Yeah, just tell someone you haven't seen in a while because of quarantine, hey, let me take you out to lunch. Or dinner or whatever on Tuesday.
And then you'd be like, I'm going to take you to Ruby Tuesday. You'd be like, oh, ballin'. And then
wow.
They don't know that that you're getting 2 entrees for $25.99. Happy hour all day. Maybe you want them to put a little something hard in your strawberry lemonade. Hey, go for it, man. Like I said, we survived the pandemic. Right on. Time to party. Ken, as always, bro.
So good.
Yep.
So good.
Yep.
Sign me up for the next one.
Yeah, you're there. You're there. Again, it's Feed Me Fridays with our friends here at Ruby Tuesday. Come on by. It doesn't even have to be a Tuesday. Hey, every other day is fine too. Get you the top sirloin. We've had some great dishes here for Feed Me Friday, and we're so excited for the next one. For my partner at Ken Sanity, follow him on any of the social media stuff. My name's Chris, Link fan. This is Feed Me Fridays. We out.
Feed Me Fridays is brought to you by King's Restaurants and Ruby Tuesday Guam. KUAM's multi-platform morning show, The Link, just got a little more delicious with Feed Me Fridays. Chris, Sabrina, Jason, and the rest of the morning crew will take some time each Friday to talk food, taste food, and bring you all the latest and greatest in food from King's Restaurants and Ruby Tuesday Guam, old faves, new hits, and everything on the menu in between. It's Feed Me Fridays on The Link. Uno Go, delivering meals from your favorite restaurants and more, including delivering sodas and adult beverages from the Bottle Shack. Visit uno-go.com or download the app today. Also follow them on Instagram and Facebook.
As May is a month to celebrate mothers and everything they do, let's not forget that many parents in our community are struggling to make ends meet and provide for their children with basic necessities. The KUAM Care Force is partnering with the Salvation Army for a very special drive this May, benefiting our precious and most vulnerable in our community. Through Friday, May 28th, we'll be collecting diapers, formula, infant toiletries, baby food, and other new items for infants and toddlers at our KUAM studios in Harmon on weekdays between noon and 4 p.m. Show you care and help families in need this spring. Due to the consideration of our current public health emergency, donations will not be accepted outside of hours specified. Curbside acceptance of donations is acceptable by calling 637-5826 upon arrival.
Steel Athletics has joined the KUAM Care Force as a community partner in the Mama and Denny's Drive. You may also drop donations to their location in Tamuning on any day of the week. See KUAM.com for designated times.
Make sure you're connected. The writing's on the wall. 'Cause if your mind's neglected, stumble you might fall, stumble you might fall.
Connection is a human necessity, one we need today more than ever. And with the new First Hawaiian Bank mobile app, you can stay just as connected to your finances. And it all starts with yes.
Get the job done the right way by getting the right stuff at East West Rental Center. With years of experience helping builders, we definitely got what you need. Call 646-1463 or visit us in Upper Tumon. Open Monday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on Sundays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information. Listen, watch, and learn from the daily Chamorro News updates from KUAM News. Catch them on The Link during the 8 o'clock hour, streaming online on Isla Radio, or on the KUAM News YouTube channel for your convenience. Tune in and stay informed, all while preserving our precious culture through the daily use of our native Chamorro language. Chamorro News updates are brought to you by your familia at First Hawaiian Bank.
KUAM Communications and Denny's Guam presents Mamapreneurs, a special multi-platform series throughout the month of May showcasing mothers who are also local entrepreneurs in our community. In commemoration of Mother's Day, during weekdays in May, we'll feature daily profiles of these multitasking mamas and their businesses. Additionally, on KUAM News Primetime every Monday in May, we'll showcase a different enterprising mamapreneur. Check out our online directory of all these businesses as well on KUAM.com. And if you know a mamapreneur we should feature, send us a message on social media or email executiveproducer@KUAM.com. Mamapreneurs is brought to you by Denny's. Guam's Diner is always open.
Looking for TV schedules, upcoming sports, or special presentations, or what you may have missed over the busy week you had? Well, look no further than KUAM Digital Digest. This weekly emailed newsletter puts all kinds of information in the hands of subscribers each and every week. Just subscribe and we will make sure you keep up with your favorites and stay informed and entertained throughout it all. Go to KUAM.com, click on the newsletter tab, give us your email address, and you are all set. Brought to you in digital partnership with King's Restaurant and Ruby Tuesday Guam. It's the KUAM Digital Digest, your weekly guide to the latest information and best entertainment on the stations and platforms of KUAM.
Help us celebrate the class of 2021. KUAM wants to help you celebrate this touchstone moment in the lives of your graduates. For the months of May and June, we will flood the social media pages of KUAM with photos and well wishes for the class of 2021 grads. Log on to KUAM.com to submit photos and brief messages or captions. Then look for your special grad on KUAM Instagram and the Facebook pages from all of your friends here at KUAM. Congratulations, seniors!
2, One Micronesia podcast sneak peek brought to you by Taco Bell.
The One Micronesia update is presented by Taco Bell and Docomo Pacific. Better together. Hafere Mogathin, and we're back with another episode of the One Micronesia podcast. And in this episode, we get to sit down and talk again with the Special Assistant to the President of the Federal States of Micronesia, Mr. Richard Clark, because just this week, we saw the first 2 repatriation flights back into the Federal States of Micronesia. So I wanted to find out what's happening, what's the plan, how is the FSM preparing? So here's more. Let's start with what sort of preparations was done on the FSM side to get things in place for repatriation flights to commence?
It's a wonderful question. There's been a lot that the national government, in addition to the state governments and municipal governments, have done to prepare us to get to where we are today. That looks like everything from, for example, in the state of Pohnpei, there was tremendous development to create what they call the medical monitoring area, which is the designated quarantine site in Dikechik in Pohnpei State. It's equipped with numerous rooms and semi-autonomous units, many of which were either donated by the People's Republic of China and or purchased. I believe the national government units were donations to the nation at large, and I believe Pohnpei State may have also purchased some additional units. These containerized isolation units have really been able to ensure that our quarantine sites, our quarantine facilities are up to par. In addition, within Pohnpei State specifically, you've been seeing a lot more preparation for dealing with COVID-19 in a real scenario. For example, in the month of April, across the nation, we began having a significant increase in the number of virtual trainings for everything from how to use a ventilator to increased communications with a doctor from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, Mr. Dr. Thane Hancock. And I mentioned that name specifically because the nation is terrifically blessed and overwhelmingly happy to know that the U.S. CDC has temporarily given him to us on loan. He was one of the people on that May 13th flight, and he has tremendous experience dealing with the virus and other related viruses, and we look forward to continuing to receive his assistance. Aside from that, of course, there's our vaccination campaign. While we have not yet reached our idealized goal of reaching 70% at the barest minimum of all citizens being vaccinated, we've been making very significant strides to increase our percentages.
Can we talk a little bit about the vaccination rate as of the nation and as by state?
When it comes to our vaccination percentages, so the Federated States of Micronesia, of course, is using our most recent census to determine the eligible population, with the eligible population defined as citizens who are 18 years of age or older. Of that, the Federated
brought to you by Docomo Pacific and Taco Bell. And if you're wondering, that's not just some rando white dude Vic's interviewing. He's a special assistant to the president of the Federated States of Micronesia, Richard Clark. 9:57, it's Friday. Let's go ahead and do this one now. Cover Me. Brought to you by Docomo and Burger King. Good morning. Burger King in Docomo Pacific present Cover Me right here on the link. Hey guys, it's Friday, whoa! Be safe out there. For Sabrina Salas Vatsanani, for Ken Sanity, The Vacationing, Jason Salas, and Joe Sir, our guys at Master Control. Remember, we got your 6 with our KUAM News primetime broadcast. My name is Chris. Guys, it's been a week, hasn't it? Finally here. Get ready for the weekend. Thank you to our sponsors, too. IT&E, East West Rental, Cabo Enterprises, Jack in the Box, and, of course, our friends at Pacific Points. It's 10 a.m. Viewers on KUAM TV, be safe. Have a great weekend. Guahusi Chris. Esta. Adios!
At Jack in the Box, I baked cheddar directly into the biscuits of